Good evening, America. Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi coming to you live from Washington, D.C. on this historic day 44 of President Donald Trump reclaiming the White House. And what a day it's been, broadcasting from the very city where history was just made. Tonight, I am joined by my exceptional co-host, Chris Coles. That's right, Chris is in the house tonight, better known to millions as Mr. Reagan. And folks, if you haven't seen Chris's masterpiece, well, you are going to see it tonight. It's absolutely exploding online, over 1.6 million views. You're missing out on the political satire of the year, but not any longer. Even the legendary Viva Frey called it a work of art, and wokeness praised it as incredible. I've literally heard congressional staffers quoting it in the hallways of DC today. We'll be breaking that down in just a moment. Before we get to that, I want to talk directly to all of you watching right now. The show isn't just us telling you what happened. It's about you, our incredible viewers, joining the conversation. That's right. Throughout tonight's broadcast and every broadcast, we'll be interacting with you live in the chat room, getting your real-time reactions to these explosive developments. Your voice does matter here, and we want to hear it. And listen up, we need your help bypassing the algorithm that's trying to silence conservative voices. So take out your phone right now, okay? Text the stream to 5 friends. I'm serious. Do it now. Tell them to tune in immediately because they're not going to hear this anywhere. We're streaming live on YouTube to millions worldwide and also on Rumble and X. So make sure you follow us on those platforms too, because we all know what happens to conservative voices on certain platforms. Now, between segments, we will be reading your super chats and Rumble rants. That's right. We will be featuring you on screen right here for the world to see. Well, super chats get priority. So if you want your voice amplified, that is the way to go. Now, let me tell you what we've got lined up. First, we're going to take a closer look at Chris's viral parody. It's got Washington buzzing, and I haven't seen it yet. Okay, I've been waiting for this moment. Chris has been texting me, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it." I'm like, "Okay, I will. Well, I'm going to watch it today, right here with you, okay? And we're going to get Chris's inside scoop on it, too. And then we're going to dive into President Trump's historic speech, a masterclass in American exceptionalism that has completely redefined the presidency in just 44 days. And we're going to expose how Trump's epic address shook Congress and the nation, leaving Democrats scrambling for a response that never came. We're also going to reveal how Democrats showed their true colors in a night of embarrassing refusals and silence. They couldn't even stand for American heroes or victims of violent crime. It was shameful, and we've got the footage to prove it. And then we're going to explore Trump's border success that has shocked Democrats and proved the power of strong immigration policies with a 95% drop in illegal crossings that has the left in absolute panic mode because they don't know where to find new voters. And finally, we're going to break down how Democrats were completely exposed after Trump's historic address. Their shameful reactions caught on camera in a press conference that revealed exactly who they are. But here's the truth, patriots. We can't keep doing this without your support. If you value what we do here, please consider donating. We are in a rented studio tonight, so we've got some bills to pay, right? You know what I'm saying? So hit the super chats. We want to see these invoices get paid. Okay. Your contribution keep the show going and allow us to bring you the truth the mainstream media will not touch. And don't forget to check out our nextnewsnetwork.com. Show off your favorite news source with our exclusive Next News swag. We've also launched YouTube channel memberships, each with their own levels of perks. So support the channel and receive special acknowledgement in the chat room and unlock exclusive access to the Next News team and behind the scenes footage that we don't publish on YouTube, but it's only for members. So buckle up, America. This is the Raw Feed. It's day 44 of President Trump reclaiming the White House, broadcasting from the nation's capital where it all went down, and it's still going down, and we're just getting started. So let's welcome you to the show. Who's in the house tonight? We've got Nola Peach, 888. We've got Second Tech, Overeducated SP, Kim Weeg, Bluebird, Maris Dees, American Nana. She says, bang it out, Gary. We got Torrin 79979979922. We've got, who else is in the house here? Easy Chair. We got One Hitman V. Oh, watch out. The Hitman's here. We've got Broken Prophet. Sorry about that. We got Drew H. Stilts 37. Thor's here. Chris, Thor's in the house.
Oh, hey.
That's awesome. Thor's here. Sammy B.A. Nola Peach. What is this? American Nana. Threads of Hera. Rusty Boot Knife. That's kind of scary. Who else is in the house? Let's see. We got Sure You. He's wielding the wrench of truth, but I think he calls it a pineapple or a cactus. It's the cactus is what he calls it. And who else is here? Scrolling through, Kathy S. and Duty to Rebel. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Okay, let's get into this first segment. Brian, was there a problem with? Did you figure it out? Did you? Okay, good. Okay, remember to clip this out too, Brian. Okay, let's go. Okay, we've got to talk about the absolute genius sitting right next to me tonight. Chris Coles, otherwise known as Mr. Reagan, he just broke the internet. What did he do? Well, he has the most brilliant political parody of 2025. His Trump-Zelensky parody video has gone absolutely nuclear with 1.6 million views and counting. Even the legendary Viva Frey called it a work of art, and Wokeness praised it as incredible. We're broadcasting live from D.C. tonight, and I've even heard congressional staffers quoting it in the hallways. But here's the crazy part. It went so viral that people ripped it off without even giving Chris any credit. How shameful. Now, Chris is here. He has created this amazing political satire. Before we show it to the viewers, tell us what inspired this masterpiece.
Comedy is the best way, I think, of presenting news, I think, because a lot of times people hear the news, they just kind of gloss over it, whatever. It's, the talking heads. But if you make something funny, if you can evoke that emotion, people really pay attention to what is going on. So, I thought it was kind of important to produce this. I did one about Joy Reid the other day. That was kind of a bit of fun.
Okay. Hang on. Don't just gloss over the Joy Reid bit, because you texted to me. I'm like, wait a second. Okay, I'm going to check this out. And then I literally couldn't believe what I was watching. Okay, like I was watching it and my mouth was just like, what? Are you crazy?
It's pretty epic response. It was great. Great. Yeah, your response was good. Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. So should we just go ahead and
yeah, you want to watch it?
Watch it.
Hold on. This is Gary's first time seeing this video. He refused it. He's like, I'm going to watch it on the air. I'm like, all right. Okay, this is going to be a blast. So we'll see what Gary thinks.
I wanted to save it to get a real reaction. So let's go ahead and run that.
Zelensky meeting. How the Trump-Zelensky meeting should have gone.
Mr. Reagan.
That was yours. We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. I think the Secret Service probably still has it somewhere.
I have been stealing the money.
I'm sorry, what's
Brian,
that now?
I must to speak honestly. I steal many of USA dollars.
Spoiler alert.
The audio's there.
Whilst we're waiting, go to Mr. Reagan YouTube channel and subscribe. Because you know what's crazy about this is I've had so many millions of views on X. Not just me, but there other people have posted it. Kevin Sorbo posted it, but it didn't have an attribution to me. But I got millions of views. I think 5 million views or something. On TikTok, I had almost 1 million views. Yeah, crazy view all over the internet. But YouTube, I've got hardly any views, and all the views are coming from external sources. So that means like the browse features, YouTube has essentially shadow banned this video. So if you want to fight back against the YouTube machine, subscribe to the Mr. Reagan YouTube channel, and hopefully I can get some more views on YouTube. That's where I make all my money, and YouTube has kind of screwed me there.
Okay, let's see if we have any audio yet. We're going to test this out.
The Trump-Zelensky meeting should have gone.
I'm seeing levels, but I'm not seeing
Mr. Reagan.
That was yours. We thought.
So it's playing on the stream, maybe?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Everything was working.
Don't you hate technical difficulties, folks?
Deep state is just.
What the hell?
If you like watching Gary Franchi's content, but you don't like the technical difficulties, subscribe to the Mr. Reagan YouTube. I'm just going to keep plugging my show.
Do it.
Just trying to fill the air. All right, play it.
Okay, let's try now.
That baggie belonged
There
to.
it is.
There you go. All right,
Okay,
let's try
all
it.
right.
Let's try it, folks. Gary's first time watching.
Why was the
Okay.
laptop muted?
Okay, so this is my first time on the internet, and I've never figured out audio before. Okay, so Brian, when we upload this segment, will you just cut out this
See, senor.
portion? Thank you, Brian. Okay, so I'll give you a nice clean point.
Intro. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Reagan, let's watch it together.
How the Trump-Zelensky meeting should have gone.
Mr. Reagan.
That was yours. We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. You know, I think the Secret Service probably still has it somewhere.
I have been stealing the money.
I'm sorry, what's that mean?
I must to speak honestly. I steal many of USA dollars to Ukraine. Millions. Some dollars for some oligarchs also. Some for American bureaucrats also.
Well, we know that, but why are you telling me this?
Because, Mr. Trump, if you end war, we cannot steal any more money. We must continue war.
No, the war must end. Your people are dying, Zelensky. They're dying.
But I want to steal more money. What do you want? Fellatio? I can do it.
No, I don't want fellatio. No.
Are you sure? I did for Biden.
Okay, that is what we call oversharing. Look, there's nothing you have that I want. You're not going to convince me to keep this war going. You don't have the cards.
I not play cards.
No, I know you're not literally playing cards. It's a metaphor. It's like I'm playing 4D chess and you're playing checkers.
No, I not play checkers. There is no checkerboard, you see.
Okay, let's try this. I am in the driver's seat, okay? Do you understand that expression?
No, but we are not in cup.
No, you're right. We're not in a car. That's true.
Listen, Mr. Trump, I am actor/comedian. I crave attention. Since start of war, I get worshipped by presidents. I'm worshipped by Hollywood. If war ends, no more attention, no more worship. With all due respect, Mr. Trump, this war must last forever.
I tell you what, if you agree to end this war, we will do a remake of Friends. And you can play Ukrainian Chandler Bing. How does that sound?
Oh, I love the Friends. This is favorite show of me. I am such a Monica.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's sign the thing, and then I'll go show you the room where Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky did it.
Oh yes, this is funny because I just say I'm such a Monica. Maybe we will go in a room and you can be Bill Clinton and I will be Monica. Yes?
You know what? Forget the room. Let's just sign the document. Does anyone have a pen? Phil? Where's Phil? I need a pen. Somebody give me a damn pen.
Mr. Reagan.
God,
How the Trump
dude.
I thought you might die.
Dude.
I thought a heart attack might be coming.
Oh.
You all right? You doing okay?
Oh my goodness, bro. That was hilarious.
It's a bit of fun. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude, that was good. So
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrote that.
Yeah. And then you got to put it into an audio generator.
Okay.
You got to put the Zelensky stuff into an audio generator. You got to put the Trump stuff in it separately. Then they come out with their dialogue. Then you kind of got to go in and splice it together so that the audio sounds correct.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go into a lip sync app and you got to dub the voices in. And I actually had to do it 4 times because I had to do the Trump wide, the Zelensky wide. They're 2-shot together. And you have to sort of like block out one of them so the lip sync doesn't mess up and do the other guy. It's kind of hard to explain, but anyway, then you can do the close-ups because I needed a cut between them.
Yeah.
I had to plan it all out because you remember the original shot of them is just the 2-shot the whole time.
Yeah.
But
so you punched it in, you cropped it.
Exactly. To make it seamless, I had to cut between. But anyway, it worked out really well.
So we're looking at the 2-shot now, and so how did you bring this together?
So I had to do the dub for Trump, lip sync that, do the dub for Zelensky because the problem is you got footage of them talking. But the lip sync will stop them talking in the moments they're waiting for the other guy to talk. So you have to have all the. Anyways, it
sounds pretty complicated.
It's a complicated process. It's not just as simple as you throw it in the AI machine and it like does its magic. It's quite a complicated process. But yeah, here's the thing. They had the meeting. He was a bit disrespectful to. Here's the crazy thing about that whole Zelensky meeting. Yeah. They are trying to help Ukraine. Yeah. They are trying to end the war in a way that both sides can agree to. Mm-hmm. And Zelensky is being very weird about this. He's just saying like, no, I don't want to agree. We do not agree. And it's like, what are you talking about? If the terms are acceptable, then you will agree. Like, why are you being weird about it? I don't get it. It seems like he wants the war to continue. So I've got a little bit of speculation there as to why maybe he wants the war to continue. Maybe he's stealing some of the money. You know, he's siphoning some off for himself. Maybe he just likes the attention. I don't know. You know, this is speculative. I don't really have evidence that he's stealing money. I know obviously there is some corruption going on there with some of the money that's being sent to Ukraine. And I know he's an actor, and I've worked in Hollywood. I know actors, and I know some of them do crave attention in that way, to the point where they would let people die in a war if it meant that they were in the spotlight forever, you know, treated like a princess by all the government, you know, all the leaders of the world. So I don't know, maybe I got him wrong a little bit, but I don't know why he's being so difficult
No, I
with
think
Donald Trump.
what you put on that screen there, I think it all makes sense, because we all believe, you know, that all this money that's going to Ukraine, is like, where the hell is it going? I mean, you're hearing stories of Zelensky's wife buying Bugattis and, like, you know,
I heard about. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that
farm
rumor.
Country. You know, like, I mean, if it's true or not. I mean, these are the rumors that go out.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, there have been, like, we've covered it here. There's stories of, you know, Ukrainian generals showing up with like satchels of American cash, like literally American cash.
Yeah, they've been selling some military equipment. There's some scandals out there where some of the stuff is obviously not all the military aid is going to help them fight. You know, and Biden would just be like, oh, take a few hundreds of millions of dollars, it's fine, nobody cares. Maybe we care. Maybe we should pay attention to what's really going on here. So yeah, hopefully this little bit of comedy brings a few more eyes to the discussion.
How does comedy help political discourse?
Okay, so when I was trying to help Trump get elected in 2024, this was a big deal. Obviously, this was like the big battle, right? Get Trump back into office. And I made this video called the Kamala Harris campaign ad. You remember this, obviously. This video was, thankfully, it was retweeted by Elon Musk. That video ended up getting, just from Elon Musk's tweet alone, 170 million views. This was not, and that's not like a normal amount for Elon. That's like nuclear. You know, I asked Grok at one point how many views that he thinks it got altogether on X, and Grok believes that it was over 700 million views. And he said that was a conservative estimate. So I was like, holy crap, you know, that's like more than the population of the entire country, you know, like double the population. So I was like, wow, that's a lot of views, Grok. You sure? And he's like, yeah, it's a conservative estimate. So, you know, the thing is, if you can create something that's funny and entertaining, and it's relevant to politics, people who wouldn't ordinarily pay attention to politics might pay attention. You know, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, you used to see these guys on the late night show, Saturday Night Live, or one of the talk shows. They would ruthlessly mock conservative candidates for political office, and it made it a little bit embarrassing to be a supporter of conservative candidates, because you were getting ruthlessly mocked. But, you know, you stand up for your principles. You say, no, this is what I believe in, and you just kind of get through it. Well, as an adult with a YouTube channel of my own, it always occurred to me, like, well, why don't we do it to them? Why don't we ruthlessly mock the left? Because they deserve it, frankly. And it's an effective technique to get messaging across. So I did this Kamala Harris parody video. That thing went super viral. And yeah, I think it may have helped it a little bit. I don't know for sure.
How many views again?
According to Grok, over 700 million views on X. Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
That's insane.
I mean,
yeah,
700 million views.
Yeah.
And that's because you shared it, Elon Musk shared it, and then everybody underneath Elon Musk shared it.
You've got
it. And that creates this exponential effect, because each one of those posts has their own view counts.
Exactly.
So Grok goes in, analyzes like the thread, the whole, like the web of shares, and then tabulates it all.
It's speculative, but yeah,
Well, I mean, I've always wondered that, because when you like something we post on X, it goes out there, and you know, then you have all these shares. But
I wonder too.
But you ask Grok to calculate.
Yeah, I asked Grok to calculate. Yeah,
that's genius.
Thanks. I mean, it's like you do. We both do this, right? We have a question. We're trying to work out the answer, and that's how that's how you learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That was a big one, though. That's one of the. I mean, that's bigger than anything I've ever done in my life. The Kamala Harris parody video.
Well, then
that
you
was
got
huge.
I mean, Elon like tweeted it. Like
That was the big.
What was your reaction
honestly,
like when that happened?
Well, you know, it was. Oh, I mean, somebody had texted me, so I had like this direct message or something on, and they said, Elon just tweeted your thing out, and I go, no. And I checked it, and obviously my view count's massive. I checked Elon's thing, and Elon just wrote something like, "This is amazing." I think that's what he wrote. This is amazing, and I thought, ha ha ha. This genius billionaire thinks I'm amazing. That's right, folks. I'm amazing. And then what was crazy was that what made it even go more viral. Obviously, like I got on the news and stuff because Elon had not put.
You got on the news.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
because so Elon had not put this is parody.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
I
yeah,
had
and
put-
then,
I
then
put
Gavin Newsom
parody.
freaked out, and then,
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
So it got into the news because the Democrats kept saying that somehow Elon and Trump were sort of trying to intentionally mislead people into thinking that Kamala Harris had made that campaign ad, which is of course absurd because it was very clearly a joke. It's Kamala Harris's voice saying things like, "I'm a diversity hire" and stuff like that, right? So
that's great.
yeah, it was absurd. It was absurdist comedy, right? But it was funny because a lot of people thought this is true. Like if Kamala Harris really made an ad like this, we'd respect her more because she'd be, telling the truth. And so it went super viral. Everybody was watching it. And then the news media was writing stories about it. And then Gavin Newsom posted something where he said, "I'm going to sign a law banning these kinds of videos."
That's right.
And Elon Musk,
what you did, okay,
Yeah.
like let's just kind of pull it back because, okay,
Sure.
so you just post this parody video.
Yeah.
Elon Musk posts it.
Yeah.
And then the news freaks out. And then all of a sudden, Gavin Newsom,
Yeah.
it catches his attention.
Yeah. And he doesn't like Elon. They don't like each other that much.
Okay, so keep going.
So Elon Musk gets
You guys
wind
hearing
of
this?
this. Elon
This is
Musk
crazy.
Elon Musk gets wind of this post by Gavin Newsom. So Elon Musk responds directly to Gavin Newsom's post, and he says, "Listen, Gavin, I have conferred with world-renowned scholar. What is it?
Sucking these
constitutional,
Sucking these nuts.
Constitutional scholar, Dr. Sugandi's nuts." And he wrote, and he assures me free speech is still legal in America. Something I'm paraphrasing. but you
Oh,
get the
yes,
idea.
that was, dude, you know what? And that created an entire meme on its own.
Yeah. Joe Rogan put that on his show, the whole Dr. Sugandi's nuts joke, because it's an infantile joke.
Yeah.
But it's, Gavin Newsom deserved such an infantile joke. It's a lot of fun. And then, so that obviously got in the news. And then, I had to sue the state of California. I filed a lawsuit against the state of California so that I could continue to make my videos. And we won within about 2 weeks. It was real quick.
I remember seeing the lawsuit come out,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the victory, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it was like boom, boom, because it was so unconstitutional.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. The judge was just like, "What are you doing, Gavin? What are you doing here?" So we won basically, and Elon Musk congratulated me. It was like, "Congratulations!" That was great, man. It was great fun. Yeah, we need to meet up. Me and Elon. If everybody's got Elon's number, let him know I want to meet with him. I got a thing.
Let me text it. Let me
Yeah,
text Elon right now and ask him if I can give you his number.
Perfect.
Hang on.
Love it.
One second. Elon, can we give? Oh, he just responded. He said no.
Oh,
He said no.
son of a gun. All right. Well, I gave it a shot.
I'm just kidding, of course. I don't have Elon's number, but I wish I did. Anyway, so tell us about your YouTube channel, some of the things you put out there aside from these parodies. I mean, I remember when I first was introduced to you, and that was through your AOC video
Right, the
that really
AOC.
just ripped the veil about the people behind the scenes controlling her.
Yeah. There was this group called Justice Democrats. Their whole point was to try to get these establishment Democrats out of Congress and bring in new Democrats. Originally, they were called Brand New Congress, and they were going to bring in all these sort of like very far left, I'd say communist Democrats into Congress. And they didn't get their goal was not achieved, but they did get in a couple of people, including their superstar AOC, and they did a promotional video to get other people to try to join their group. And AOC essentially admits in this video that she doesn't really control her own office, that these people are the puppeteers behind her. And it was such a weird thing for them to do, to admit to this, because it's like you kind of want the people who are voting for you to believe that you are who you say you are. And if you're not really controlling your own office, if it's this like this group behind you, and to their credit, they were doing it openly, a little bit more open than maybe they could have, which is nice. But they weren't open about it when she was running. They were sort of only open about it because they wanted to bring in new people to kind of do the same thing. And so I exposed that. And that's really kind of what made my channel successful. Yeah. Mr. Reagan.
Was there anyone else that helped make it successful?
Yeah, there was this one guy named Gary Franchi. So he sees this. You saw my video and you had me come on the show. And I think I did an interview or something with you. And you go, hey, let me introduce you to the guy that gets me my ads, and you can make this into like a whole career. And at that point, I had made the decision to make it a career anyway. And so I said, let's do it. So he connected me to the right people. And so without Gary Franchi and Next News Network, the Mr. Reagan YouTube channel probably wouldn't exist. I mean, it's because of you that I actually have a career as a YouTuber.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I credit you with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cheers to your success, and maybe we'll get Elon's phone number someday. What do you think?
Give me a week.
Give him a week. All right.
I'll probably get it.
Okay, so folks, that is the brilliance of Chris Coles for you. What started as a parody has become a cultural touchstone that perfectly captures the absurdity of the current political moment. Despite some viewers missing the satirical genius, like one guy, he called it incoherent, another about asking about Putin concessions, the overwhelming response has been people thanking Chris for making their day better. Even one viewer wrote, "This made my horrible day at work the best evening ever." And that is the power of sharp political humor. Cuts through the noise, reveals the truth through comedy. Chris, your work is exactly why we need more independent voices like yours in the media today.
I appreciate it, Gary.
All right.
Again, everybody subscribe to Mr. Reagan on YouTube, because YouTube is screwing me over. All the other social media companies, I seem to be able to do reasonably well, but YouTube, where actually we make most of our money on YouTube, is the only platform that really pays well, and they have highly suppressed that video, which it's really sad, because we're small businesses. Mm-hmm. I remember when they demonetized you; it was a very dark day, man. But YouTube they're these puppet masters. They feel like they can do whatever they want with people's lives. And YouTube is a small business for many people. And this massive corporation, YouTube, can just crush you because they don't like your politics. It's really messed up,
So subscribe to Mr. Reagan right now, and you'll get access to his next parody video. Okay, I know we're trying to close out this segment, but I guess I have to ask you, what's next?
Oh, no. Well, the thing is, I got to wait till there's another big news moment, and then I'll do a parody of somebody. I did one for Keir Starmer. That one was he's the Prime Minister of the UK. I really dislike that guy. He's really far left. But yeah, whoever steps in it next, whoever makes the next big mistake, I feel like Zelensky made a big mistake. Whoever makes news in a way where I think they need to be parodied, it's coming. It's coming. I should probably do Al Green.
I was just going to say Al Green getting kicked out of Congress. That was beautiful. So maybe we'll see what it would really look like if Chris Coles was directing that moment.
The main thing that I like to do with these parodies is have the people in the parody tell the truth. So I say, like, this is what it would be like if this leftist told the truth. There's a lot of parodies on my channel, so you can check those all out. Some news stuff as well. So my normal show is a little bit like yours. I just analyze the news and talk about what's going on.
All right. Check out Chris Coles, Mr. Reagan on YouTube, and we'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
You're such a pro, Gary.
We're seeing a black screen. What's that about?
People are sick of your face.
Okay. Brian's got buttons messing up. Okay.
Brian's got.
All right, let's check in with the chat room and see what you guys are up to. Do we have any super chats tonight? Okay, Ronnie Lee. $10 or $5 from Ronnie. And then we got Wounds Are Us. YouTube sucks. Build up Rumble, never go on YouTube. And he's sending that message in from Rumble. So we thank you for that. And we are on Rumble. That's how you're watching us.
He's talking about me.
Oh, he's talking to you.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do we have on Rumble? Wounds Are Us. Maybe you could tell us since you're watching there. Drop a comment. Let's continue over into the main chat room. We got a lot of news to get to tonight, guys. So let's get through it here. Going to share this. Chronic Abundance. Going to share this on X, and why not the video? There you go. Who else is here? Wonder where Boyd is. Wasn't there like a fire? CPAC Stage Raider. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, when I walked up on stage at CPAC.
Did you?
Yeah, like when they were setting everything up.
Oh, that's cool.
They were setting everything up at CPAC like the day before.
It was like last year.
I was just 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Oh, you were here. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I know you were here for CPAC, but you never really went to CPAC.
No, I was always streaming, and then we were just, we had our crew out there. But I did.
I was trying to meet up with you more.
Well, we had a couple nice dinners.
Yeah. We did. Yeah, no, you went to the White House for the most part.
Yeah.
He was hanging out at the White House.
But yeah, when the day before, I was just walking around with my camera, and I just walked behind the scenes.
I didn't know that.
And I was like walking as they're setting everything up, and I'm just walking with my camera, like, hey, look at all the buttons, look at all the screens, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm going on stage,
right?
And I just I'm going to go on the CPAC stage.
That's cool.
Right? And because they don't invite me to speak, but I'm going to get on the stage anyway. So it's kind of funny because I didn't graduate with my class in high school.
Ah, okay.
So I actually had to graduate with my night school class. So I never got to walk across the stage with my my graduating class. But there was a moment, somebody had graduated. I was there for the graduating class. Maybe it was one of my brothers or something. And I went backstage because I knew the layout of the school. I went backstage and I walked across the red carpet.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm going to walk this carpet, and that was just,
that's fun, man. That's
so I want to do that at CPAC. I'm like, and they're like, what are you doing up here? Why are you here? I'm like,
did they stop you?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm with Next News. I'm like, I have to get my media pass at 4:00. He said, well, wait till 4:00. Okay, anyway, 51,000 on Rumble. We misgendered Wounds Are Us. Oh no, sorry about that. Okay, folks, we have to get into the next segment here. Brian, are there any other settings that we need to get cleared up here before we continue? Because okay, so let's just check this real quick. So we got me.
Hold on a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're button testing.
We have Chris. We have Gary.
You need button testing music.
We got the 2 share, and then we got the main. And then we got the full. Well, there it is. Look at the main. The main again. Look at the main. The crop is bad again.
Linsky meeting.
Yeah.
Should have
The
gone.
crop moved. Good. Come on.
Ooh, look at that beautiful logo. Who
That's
designed
a cool
that?
logo. I like it.
Sebastian Gorka always, every time I go on a show, he's like, you picked the best name for a YouTuber, Mr. Coles. Mr. Reagan. He's like, I'm jealous of that name and logo.
Well, I mean, you and Sebastian Gorka are pretty close.
Yeah, he's one of my best buds, BFFs.
Tell us some more while Brian's fixing that.
So, just like you, I just went on a show once ages ago, and I think I may have made fun of him a little bit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I said something like he's got a whiny, high-pitched voice or something.
Really?
Because Sebastian Gorka talks like this,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's got the most amazing, booming radio voice. I mean, undeniable,
he really
right?
does, yeah.
So when you say something like that, it's just a bit of fun. You're just joking around. As he kind of liked that. And, I genuinely, I want to make the country better. That's always been my goal. I don't really care that much about money or follower counts. I'm trying to fix that now because I feel like we won the election. I should maybe boost my subscriber count. That's why I keep pitching my show to you guys. But back then, it was basically like, let's truly make America great again. And Sebastian Gorka, he saw that. And so he started bringing me on the show sometimes just to chat about this or that, especially Hollywood stuff. And then eventually we became friends and we started doing a weekly show called Make Movies Great Again, where we would review like movies from the 80s and talk about why are movies in the 80s so much better than movies today, right? And we would do that analysis.
Well, that's when when they had actual creativity. Now it's all remakes, dude.
You've got it right.
Okay.
So anyway, we formed a good friendship, and now he's in the White House. It's pretty crazy. He got me in the White House like the third day, which is pretty crazy. And I noticed that when they were having me set up my, you have to put in all your information so they can vet you to make sure that you're not going to be some kind of like crazy person in the White House. And I noticed they had male, female, and X gender options.
When was this?
This was the third day of the Trump administration. The second full day, because the first day is obviously the inauguration. So the second full day, and I may have been the first person to bring it to their attention. So I said to Seb, I was like, "Hey, look, they've got this X thing still on the forms to get into the White House." And he goes, "Send me a screenshot of that. I'll have that fixed." Really? And then in the news, like the next day, they were like, they took X off the passports. I didn't know that's why they did it. They have it as an option at the White House because they have it as an option for our passports in America. Oh. So it became this big news thing. And I'm like, did I do that? I really hope so. I don't know if it was me, but it seemed like the timing seemed pretty good. So I think maybe that was my fault that they took the X off the passports. Yeah.
Okay, so all the trans people should just contact you.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So just go to Mr. Reagan's channel.
You can send me all your hate.
Click the About tab and then look for his email address. And,
that will work. So you probably shouldn't actually tell them to do that. Gary, what are you doing to me?
Well, it's all public information.
It's true. It is public information.
Okay.
It's accurate.
Okay. Enough of this. We're having fun tonight on the Raw feed. But we do have some more news to get to, and Chris is going to be riding shotgun. We're going to get his real-time reactions to everything happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you live from Washington, D.C. tonight, right where history was made. What we witnessed last night in the halls of Congress was revolutionary. President Trump delivered an address that redefined American leadership with determination. He outlined a vision of victory, strength, and renewal that left Democrats stunned. From his declaration that America is back to his commitment to justice for fallen heroes, Trump's speech wasn't just words. It was a declaration that the golden age of America has begun. And while Trump offered solutions, Democrats offered nothing but resistance and contempt for the American dream. As we step into 2025, though, one thing is clear. De-dollarization is accelerating. China and BRICS nations are terrified of President Trump, making them determined to reduce dependence on the U.S. dollar. And what's their weapon? It's gold. China is buying gold while deliberately underreporting purchases. This should concern every American. Now, these nations, they recognize gold's value in withstanding economic turmoil. They are preparing for something. But this is not just about foreign powers. It's about protecting your future. In a world where economic influence is shifting, gold stands as your hedge against uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments can help secure your financial future. So there's a link in the description, and you can see it on the screen, nextnewsgold.com. And the number, 877-646-5347. Give them a call or click the link today. Receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins with a qualified account. And we thank Noble Gold Investments for supporting this program, and you guys for watching and sharing. All right, let's get into this topic tonight. We are riding shotgun. Who's riding shotgun tonight? We have Mr. Reagan in the house. What's up, man?
Yeah, you know what? What a cool night last night was.
It was cool, and we're gonna go back through some of the moments, but let's take a look at what do we have here in this. Real quick, let's just go to this box here. Let's go here. Okay. We're learning how to use the internet tonight. Okay. So here's Secretary Wright. He says, I signed this morning our second LNG approval permit after Biden's freeze. This is on Fox Business.
And we've been blessed with so much energy. Can these states like Louisiana look to the administration and say, hey, we want extra help. We want to expedite this. We want to supercharge our states.
Absolutely we can, Charles. Look, I am President Trump's authority. I signed this morning our second LNG approval permit after the Biden freeze that shut those down. That's number 2 already. We're 45 days in, and there's more in the pipeline. And most of these are on the Louisiana coast or the Texas coast. We may see them elsewhere as well. But absolutely, Louisiana is a high energy state, both their citizenship and their energy resources, that's been bottled up. The fastest growing energy source on the planet is natural gas, the world's largest producer of it. And somehow we had an administration that thought it was a good idea to block our gas from getting to consumers who need it, allies of ours who need it.
Yeah.
But those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Those days are gone. Thank God. Yeah. Because, I mean, that was all by design, Chris.
Yeah.
They wanted to strangle this nation. Like, what the hell were they thinking? What was that administration thinking?
Yeah, and the inflation and the the price of regular products. It's a really strange thing, the Biden administration. Their priorities were not helping the American people, improving the lives of average Americans. That was not their priorities. They had a lot of other things they were trying to do. And, when that's true, everything you say to the American people has to be a lie by default, right? And you wonder, why was the Biden administration lying constantly to the American people? It's because their goal was never to help improve the lives of everyday Americans. So you have to lie because that's what America wants you to do. So you have to lie and say that this is really going to benefit you. And people are like, really? What? I don't know. And if that's repeated on MSNBC and NBC and CBS and ABC, a lot of people who are, I would say, not even really far left, they're maybe more moderate in the middle, but they really respect still these news networks, these nightly news shows. They respect them and they think, well, they wouldn't lie to me. And I have friends whose parents are like this, who they watch the nightly news, they say, well, they wouldn't lie to me. And the reality is they would lie to you. That's why Gary's Next News Network exists, to get things out there that you're not going to hear on the mainstream media news shows. And they will lie. They will lie. I mean, they lied about Russian collusion. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. They lied about that phone call that Trump made to Zelensky ages ago. You remember they got him impeached when he was like,
perfect phone call.
It actually was a perfect phone call. He wasn't trying to get anything out of it. He just said, could you, if there is this problem with Joe Biden, right, and Hunter and him trying to get money illegally, through this Burisma company, can you maybe find some evidence against Joe Biden, because it would be inappropriate. We've got to figure that out. And they're like, quid pro quo. You remember all that stuff. The mainstream media, they knew that was a lie. They knew all of that was a lie. They knew the laptop was legitimate. They knew all this stuff, and they lied to you. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that are just not that skeptical, and they just buy it. And it's what a relief that we live in.
Well, look at this headline right here. Ralph Norman: Trump gives America a much-needed shot of optimism.
That's exactly what happened last night.
And watching that address, I was actually in the White House watching the address.
Right.
I was in the press room, and I had my earbud and I was watching it on my phone.
Right.
And there's other reporters, right? And when Al Green
it was a crazy moment.
I'm watching it on my phone. I'm sitting in the front row, right? I'm sitting in the Fox News chair, where Steve Ducey sits. Mm-hmm. And I had I was owning the press room. I was had all my stuff just spread out, whatever. And I'm watching it and I'm going, oh my God. I'm verbalizing this, my God, holy crap. And I'm just being me. And all these people behind me are reacting as well. It was pretty remarkable to be in there. Yeah. So we've got this Representative Harshbarger. Trump is reviving the American dream and common sense. That's clearly true. Here is our new EPA chief, Lee Zeldin. There's a lot for us to do in a short amount of time. Let's check this out. This looks like C-SPAN.
President Trump has been leading the charge. There's a lot for us to do in a short amount of time. The American public spoke loud and clear last November. They don't want us to waste any opportunity to address their priorities, the economy, the border, and so much more.
And that's what's being done. Things are being addressed. Here we have, what's this? Woke no longer. Rapid Response 47. In fact, President Trump eliminated discriminatory DEI offices, employees, and practices across the bureaucracy alongside a return to merit-based hiring. It's clearly something that we've needed for a long time. Here we have this. This is a lady points out that millions in Europe welcome and wish their leaders were like President Trump. Let's listen.
Safe, failed European economies. We're shrinking. We're in terminal decline at the moment, and we need to take a leaf out of Trump's book, who is boosting growth with lower taxes, smaller state, deporting illegal immigrants, deporting criminals, all the things any normal state should be doing, but our countries are
I think she's going to get arrested for saying that in Europe. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like you can't even talk like that in Europe.
No. Yeah, people are getting arrested for the weirdest stuff.
Facebook posts.
Like
literally.
But it's not even Facebook posts that are like particularly vicious or they're not calling for the death of anybody. It's just like, we should be able to determine whether or not so many illegal Muslim immigrants are coming in or something like that. They go, "Oh, Muslim immigrants. Muslim, you say? Well, you're going to prison." Just crazy stuff like that. Like pretty simple, straightforward perspectives.
We have one of your favorite hosts, Joy Behar. You love Joy.
You love Joy. Yeah.
Love Joy.
This was great.
Okay, now I haven't seen this. This is Stephen A. Smith planting the View co-host 6 feet under.
Yep.
Oh boy,
this was great. This was great.
And this guy, it's fun to kind of watch. This guy's coming around.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith is coming around. I'm watching him.
Right. He's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
Well, it's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad. We should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
It's only been
Okay, speaking of mandates, I'm on a mandate right now with Chris Coles. Chris, what's going on The View? I mean, that was great.
That was absolutely amazing. Well, it's really weird to see leftists have like some cold water splashed in their face every now and again, right? Because they really do live in their own leftist bubble. I made a video a little while ago about a story, really, about how I ran into a Washington Post political reporter at the inauguration. He was at an inauguration party. He was talking to my friend. I pulled him aside and I said, "Hey, talk to me." Okay. And so we started getting into it and I started asking him questions. And later on, we learned that he had won a Pulitzer Prize for his reporting on January 6th. When we were talking to him about why is it the leftists are still supporting Kamala, because she's a train wreck, and obviously Trump has good plans for the country, so intelligent leftists should be shifting over to Trump. And he said, his words, he said, it's because Trump is trying to undermine democracy. I said, explain that. So he gave me a couple of points that I easily debunked. And then, of course, he got into the January 6th stuff. And he was saying, oh, no, and I said, well, what, the truth is we don't exactly know who the aggressors were on January 6th because there were a lot of FBI informants.
26, I believe we now know.
Right. But at one point, it was reported by the FBI that they had lost count. There were so many there in the crowd, they had lost count of the exact number. And then I said something about Ray Epps. And this guy goes, "Oh, Ray Epps, is that the guy with the buffalo horns?" And I'm like, and I look at my brother because my brother was with me. Look at my brother, and we just looked at each other like, how can this guy be a political reporter for the Washington Post and not know who Ray Epps is?
Wow.
And then he says, "Oh, no, he was the guy."
That just shows you how much they suppressed the Ray Epps story.
Even if they suppress it from the public, the reporter should know who he is. So we got that. He was like, "Oh no, maybe it's the guy who kicked his shoes up on Nancy Pelosi's desk." Like, no, guy. You have no idea who this is. How can you not know who this is? Please look in. And when I left this guy, I just go, look, you may not believe this, but you live in a bubble. Okay. You live in a leftist bubble. And he had at some point had said that he believed in journalistic ethics. I said, if you truly believe in journalistic ethics, I'm going to ask you right now to start paying a little bit of attention to news stories from conservative news outlets because you have no idea about any of these stories. And I left him. And I hope that planted the seed of influence in his head. I doubt that it'll change anything, but it's funny to watch these people. It's like a deer caught in the headlights. They don't know what to do when they get told the truth.
Well, here's a clip we've got. Just Jen, the left needs to watch this and take some advice. Yeah. Let's listen. Have you seen this? I haven't seen it.
Tolerance.
Oops.
If there were ever a sign that says, I need to leave the left, it's this one.
I don't know if this is going to get me banned or not, but Donald Trump needs to be fucking shot, guys.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I don't even want to play that. I mean, wow.
Love and if there were...
No, and I showed you a video that I found
seriously, though,
on TikTok.
On a serious note,
it's the same.
Why are you posting videos like this on the internet? What possesses people to do that? I feel so safe walking around public with people who think like that. But
it's sad. It's really sad how the left. You're going to say about this video?
No, I just showed you when we were setting up today. I showed you a video of another guy. I think it's a woman, black girl.
Oh yeah.
And she's talking about planning on, okay, this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to set up like a GoFundMe, and we're going to pay whoever does it so much money and all this. And she's talking about, the unspeakable with regard to our president, the man.
Well, I'm sure she's going to get a call or a visit from the
I posted on X just for that reason.
Did you tag the Secret Service? I hope
no, but everybody else did. I knew everybody was going to.
The Secret Service just got flooded.
I got people I can send it to if they don't get it. Yeah.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is going to be lowering egg prices. If you're an egg guy, I love my omelets. And egg prices are out of control. But Trump's going to fix that. We got this 22 hours ago under President Trump, the highest number of Americans in 2 decades say the nation is headed in the right direction. I can agree with that. Yeah. We've got this. Democrats refuse to stand for free speech, 2 genders, ending weaponization, and so much more. They showed America who they really are. President Trump restoring common sense to government. Democrats stay seated in support of high regulations. What's this? Biden administration spent millions creating transgender animals to experiment on. This sounds like something like a Dr. Fauci fetish.
It does. What is this rapid response thing that you look at?
It's an X account.
Right. This seems to be like your favorite feed.
It's because it's directly from the White House.
Interesting.
Official rapid response account.
Hold on, I got to add them.
47.
That's fantastic.
Let's see here. I'll show it to you on the screen.
I love how I'm using up your precious time.
There it is. Rapid response 47. Official response account of the Trump 47 White House supporting POTUS America First agenda and holding the fake news accountable.
Follow
them up.
Love it.
Because that's you can just scroll through it and you can see how much they're posting.
That's amazing. So follow Rapid Response 47 and Mr. Reagan USA on X.
All right, let's keep going here. What's this? Our beloved press secretary 22 hours ago, before President Trump took office, taxpayer dollars were being poured into things like DEI in Serbia's workplaces. What the hell, dude?
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
And mic drop. She's out. There it is. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on senior Social Security. She brought up the Irish transgender musical.
Yeah.
Babylon Bee did a whole skit. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my goodness, dude! They showed the Doge Boys going into the USAID office, and auditing them.
That's amazing.
And then they're sitting across the table from them. I should show it, but I had to.
And
find
they're getting this information of all these different.
But no, they're explaining the Irish transgender musical.
You're right. Trying to justify it.
No. They actually start singing Irish limericks about transgender.
Fantastic. I'm gonna have to check.
Oh,
that
dude,
out.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, Babylon Bee is priceless. Okay, 1.7 trillion major investments in U.S. since inauguration day. 600 billion Saudi Arabia, Apple 500 billion, OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank 500 million, TSMC 100 billion. That was a big announcement this week.
You know, Carolyn Levitt's doing a great job. When they first announced her, I was skeptical. I'll tell you why. Because I always felt like, you know, I'm friends with Gorka, right? And you've got a great voice. And I always thought it would be important to have a man with a deep voice explaining exactly what the president is doing every day, because there is something psychological in people's minds. It's not something that I have against women or anything. It's just when you hear a woman speaking, you know, people are more likely to consider it to be like, you know, mom, you know, which people are often rebellious against their mom. But if you hear a man speaking, it's like dad, right? And that's a little bit more scary. So as a psychological effect on the public and on the press, I thought it might be better to have a male press secretary. That was just my thought based on human psychology. However, Carolyn Levitt, phenomenal. She's actually been doing great. Love that woman.
I think she's been doing great. I remember when there was whispers of Alex Jones going to be the
no, well,
secretary.
that was, I don't know if it was whispers. I think that was just
no,
people online being crazy. Yeah,
no. I mean, there was like talk of it. And
I don't think that was ever
How crazy would that have been? Right?
That would have been wild. That would have been wild.
No, we're still waiting for Alex Jones to be in the new media seat. I'm sure that'll happen at some point. And I want to be in that press room when Alex asked the first question of the press secretary. Well, we want to make sure is Donald Trump, is he going to make sure the frogs are not turning gay anymore?
Gary, that's a great impression. You should, at some point, you should just do a whole episode as Alex Jones. Get a tinfoil hat and just do the whole thing as Alex.
I love Alex.
That's funny stuff.
Okay, Rapid Response 47. A 13-year-old cancer survivor just made an honorary member of the U.S. Secret Service, fulfilling a lifelong dream. And Democrats refuse to stand for him. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man.
That was actually a magnificent moment. That kid was so cool, and that was so much fun. And Democrats are just such sourpuss, degenerate pricks. You know, like, why are they like that? Why are they like that?
President Trump purged our military of DEI, gender ideology, and other woke initiatives, returned the focus to our core mission of lethality. Here's the headline from Fox. Army recruiting shatters records after President Trump's election win. Because they want to fight for a country they can believe in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We've got this U.S. Navy currently retiring ships as fast as it builds them, meaning that fleet growth will take a long time. U.S. naval fleet is projected to remain below 300 ships until the late 2030s. Meanwhile, China, what are they doing? They're building up their Navy. Who knows what they're going to do? But remember, behind every blade of grass in America, what is it? You know the story. Okay, President Trump committed to stopping the horrific bloodshed in Ukraine. 1 million are now dead in the Russia-Ukraine war. I just want to see peace there, you know?
Yeah. Let's bring that war to an end.
Okay. I think we have more in the, we have topic. Here's more on the invitees. This is the moment that Peyton McNabb, who was there, got it. I mean, that's a volleyball.
Yeah,
I mean,
nasty.
I can't believe that occurred.
Yeah.
You know, and now she's got like brain damage from the whole thing.
I mean, sports are dangerous, you know, just generally. People get hurt, but you don't need to make it worse by putting men and women's sports.
Well, I mean, this is volleyball. Like, what do we, I mean, football or I mean, like we've seen the whole thing with boxing and then the Olympics, that whole debacle. Watching that moment, what the hell?
It's vicious. It's vicious. Yeah, no, there's no reason for that. It's just, you know, it's just virtue signaling from the left. Here's what the left does. They always want a fake victim. They always want to create a fake victim, right? I believe, people are probably going to get mad at me for this, but I believe black people in America are fake victims. I don't think they're really victims. I think people have opportunity in America. I think women in America are fake victims. I don't think there is this massive sexism that I don't think we're racist. I don't think we're sexist in America. I don't think that's true. I don't think we're, what do you call it? Homophobic. I don't think that's true either. The transgender thing,
it's all made up victimhood, and they just capitalize on it.
The problem is people aren't buying it so much anymore. They don't really buy the misogyny. They don't really buy the racism. So they got to come up with a new victim. And the new one they've come up with is the transgenders. And they're like, oh, they were born this way. It's a man born in a woman's body. We've got to protect them. You know what? How about they just act normal? How about they don't join a woman's sport because they feel like a woman? They had to reinvent the term gender in order to pretend that this is a thing. Gender, for whatever it is, as long as the word has existed pretty much, it was this binary idea, men and women, or male, female, right? And applied to human beings, it was exactly the same as biological sex. It's only in the last few years that it's become popular to say, no, it's about how you feel about what you're like and how you'd want to dress and if you want to wear lipstick. So if you want to wear lipstick, you're a woman. If you don't want to wear lipstick, they're a man. That's essentially their definition. It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, there are people out there who think they're the Queen of England.
Chris, you're going to get me demonetized.
Sorry, okay.
For the next 2 years. So my name is Peyton McNabb. I am from Murphy, North Carolina. My senior year of high school, I was permanently injured by a male posing as a woman on the opposing team. He hit me so severely that it knocked me unconscious, and it left me with lifelong effects, stuff that I'm still dealing with today. Partial paralysis, vision impairment, cognitive issues. The list goes on. I mean, it is a brain injury, so it does take more time. Ever since then, I spoke out as soon as I turned 18, and it just blew up overnight. That's pretty much started the next 2 years for me. I've traveled from state to state, speaking up and standing up for girls and these basic rights that they deserve. I mean, these are so basic and it's common sense, but we're having to beg and plead and fight for years. There's so many things that have happened to me, and I'm not the only one, but all of that hard work paid off because we finally have an administration that was willing to stand up and hear us and choose to take on this issue for as big as it is.
Yeah, it's long overdue, man.
And she was featured in the it's not really State of the Union, whatever, it's the address to Congress.
Yeah, I keep calling it the State of the Union, but it's a joint address to Congress. It's the same. It's got the same feel. So,
right.
I was at the White House and I went to one of the communications people, and I'm like, hey, I want to get into the State of the Union. What can I get in? Can my press pass get me in there? And they're like, no, you had to do this and this. But I'm referring to it as the State of the Union, right. And they're probably like in their head going, no, Franchi, it's not the State of the Union.
No, I think everybody's referring to that because it's quicker than whatever it is. Address to a joint session of Congress.
So here we have this clip. This was cut by Fox, posted by Rapid Response 47. Why did Representative Deb Dingell roll her eyes when President Trump introduced a 13-year-old cancer survivor? Really? Yeah, she rolled her eyes?
The doctors. In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Well, you just saw there. You see her there on the right with the pink glasses on? That was Michigan Democrat Debbie Dingell. Actually rolling her eyes when President Trump was talking about this.
You know what? Okay, I don't think she was rolling her eyes. I don't think.
But there was this. Okay, she's using a rolling the eyes kind of vaguely.
But it looks like she was like crying, like she was wiping a tear.
No, look at the expression on her face. She was just like, give me a break expression.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys in the comments, you guys battle it out. Was she wiping a tear or rolling her eyes? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see it again. I think we can actually.
She's like.
I think we can do the playback speed. We'll do playback speed 25%.
Okay.
Scroll it back just a hair. And we're going to analyze this. We'll do a frame by frame.
Frame by frame analysis.
Because I mean, okay, here she is. Okay. Closing the eyes.
Give me a break.
You think that's what she's doing? Or maybe she's like, oh my God.
This is so lame.
Is what's the thing? She's wait, she's touching her ear.
I don't know what she's doing, but she's definitely not. Because the thing is, like, the left always pretends that the right is engaged in something phony, right? Artifice, political theater, right? And we claim the same thing about the left. And a lot of people think, well, there's probably somewhere in the middle. And yeah, there's a little bit. But when Trump does something, like when Trump does something artificial, like when do you remember the garbage truck thing where he jumped in a garbage truck?
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. But he does a speech and he says, okay, so we jumped in the garbage truck. We took some pictures. It was like basically like it was like a publicity stunt. And he admits that, right? He like talks about it openly. If Trump does something like the McDonald's thing, right? If you do something that's a publicity
the
stunt,
McDonald's thing was great too.
it was phenomenal. But he's very open about the fact that he's just doing that as a bit of fun, right?
Yeah.
For the press. This wasn't just for fun. This wasn't just political theater, right? This was genuine, right? And this woman, I think that look and that attitude is essentially saying, this is political theater, this is ridiculous, this is lame. Trump's just trying to get sympathy from his base and everything, and from the American people. And certainly this does provide, it shows that Trump is a sympathetic guy and a good man, but it's not phony, it's not false. This kid really did suffer this way, and he's a great kid, and Trump's trying to help him out, and I think it's a wonderful thing. That sometimes you just got to kind of like put your politics aside and go, you know what? Even if this is going to make you look good, Trump, fair enough. That kid's great. Well done finding him and recognizing him here tonight.
Well, I'm glad that he did.
Yeah.
And here's the moment we have where he became a Secret Service agent. Man, this makes me want to like cry.
It was so great.
It was so great. Is beautiful.
When you can just lighten somebody's life up a little bit like that, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah. Here's a clip from Fox. Let's take a look at this.
Both of you. Join us right now on the heels of this very exciting night. That 13-year-old cancer survivor, DJ Daniel, and his dad, Theodis. Good morning to both of you.
Sir, good morning.
So DJ, you're up in the gallery. The president is talking about you, and then you heard what he said, and your eyes got wider. What were you thinking?
I was not expecting that. Nobody even told us, even though that they knew. They didn't even want to tell us.
Well, so what did they tell you about going to this event last night, this joint session, to get you there?
Well, really and truly, I wasn't expecting it to be like that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it was something. And there you are with all the most powerful people in the world. You've got, I know Elon Musk was there and everything else. Dad, let's talk to you a little bit about this. I know ever since your son was diagnosed with brain cancer, as he's gone through his treatment and his surgeries, he has made it a quest to try to be sworn in as an honorary member of law enforcement to as many agencies as possible. How is that going?
Well, I'm his dad, but I realized I became his chauffeur. So
driving him around.
I found him driving him all across the nation and relentlessly and tirelessly get him there. Because the Texas Children is considering his swearing as treatment, so we utilize that. And his brothers are actually his medical support too.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so he's been sworn in by 909 different agencies. But DJ, last night, you officially became a member of the Secret Service. That's the coolest one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know you did talk to the First Lady. You have not.
I gotta say, this kid would probably do a better job in Butler, than what we saw in Butler.
What do you mean?
Well, the assassination of Trump in Butler.
Then the actual Secret Service agents? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, put him in charge.
Put him in charge. I think he'd figure it out quickly.
He'd be like, the roof's not that slanted.
Yeah.
You guys will be fine.
Oh, man, this is a beautiful moment for that kid. I'm so happy.
He's great. He's great. And he's not particularly prepared for press. He's like, this is the best one. Or he's like, yep. But I think that gives a sense of authenticity to him. I think people are going to love it. I mean, he's a superstar, that kid now.
I mean, we've got all of these. Oh, here's more from him. Let's keep going with DJ Daniel.
Together. But you want to know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together. And out of nowhere, I locked up. And then my dad was calling my name. And I started going to the slow thing. And he said, stop playing with me. And I then I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow. And then as soon as he said that, we were speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, nah, we're gonna have to go in his brain tonight. Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries. And that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
So I just found this other clip here. Check this out. Look at this. This is him in the Oval Office, man. Oh man.
That family. What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you. A big hug.
Okay, good.
Oh man.
That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh? Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. That was a big evening last night, right? Yes, it was. That was a big evening. What a good-looking.
So this is just today, then.
Just watching this hug, man. You know, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool.
A big hug.
Oh, look at that, man. I'm getting misty over here.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, he's a cool kid, man. That is a cool
and
kid.
he's all in, like, uniform, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Holy cow. We've got
Did you hear what was said on MSNBC about this kid?
What did they say?
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was I forget the woman's name, Nicole Wallace.
Oh,
Nicole
no.
Wallace. And this kid, you know, we all hope and pray this kid lives to 100. You know, we do. You know, we want him to live to 100. And so she says this, and then she says, which is completely nuts. She goes, "But what if he becomes a cop? And then, you know, he has to be at the Capitol when Trump supporters are tearing it down, and then he's one of the police officers who commit suicide because of it. What about that?"
Oh my.
Oh, it was nuts. You're just like, shut up, lady. What are you doing? Jiminy Christmas. Just wish the kid well and move on.
Yeah, seriously. Here's Brett Baer reacting to the State of the Union.
Service has made him the best moment, emotional moment, was DJ, who's battling cancer. He wanted to be a police officer, and during the speech, the president said the Secret Service has made him an agent. Mm-hmm. Even in that moment, you know, the gallery was split. The best moment.
And we got some more. Here's let's see, we have Fox News. POTUS is now the record holder. Longest speech? Really? Was it the longest?
It was. It was pretty long.
This was the longest speech. He is now the record holder for the longest speech to joint session of Congress, beating Bill Clinton. This was the longest.
Wow, really? Longest speech.
Well, that's not really that surprising. Donald Trump can give some dang long speeches, man.
He can definitely. We have more. Congratulations, Jason. This was a cool moment, too, watching this guy's reaction.
Tragically, a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
That's cool.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
And look at this. The other kid comes and congratulates him. It's pretty cool. That's great.
Now, there's another moment I want to share with you. I don't know if you saw this yet, but Vice President Vance and Speaker Johnson were caught on a hot mic. Did you see this?
No.
Right before the speech. This is the moment. Mm-hmm. And then Speaker Johnson realizes he's on the mic and puts the mic down.
Oh.
Listen to what they say.
By the way, I think the speech is going to be great, but I don't know how you do this for 90 minutes.
The hardest thing was doing it during Biden when the speech was
The hardest thing was during Biden.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
That's
the
pretty
transcript, Speaker Johnson, the hardest thing was doing it during Biden when the speech was a stupid campaign speech.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I love these candid moments.
Yeah, for
you know?
real. Yeah, because you want to get the real perspective.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I've said this for a while now. For most of us, we recognize that what Donald Trump is saying is honest and genuine, and his cabinet and everybody in there really does want to make America better and improve the lives of everyday Americans. But there is a certain percentage of people on the fence, I think, still. And it's weird to think that you're not totally against Trump or totally for Trump, but there is, I would say, somewhere between 5 and 20% of America would support Trump if they thought he was honest. But you talk to a lot of these people in the middle, and they're like, well, he's a con man. He's deceiving everybody. And you know what it is? The moment that you see him in an interview or doing a speech or, at a press conference, you can kind of understand. They look staged a little bit. They look like, they're prepared, right? Obviously.
It's structured.
It's structured, right? And so they believe that it's inauthentic. But if they could manage to get people to watch the unscripted moments, the raw moments.
Like this one here.
Yeah, just like this is exactly why I'm bringing it up. Because this is so authentic. The candid moments people associate with honesty and truth and reality. That's real. That's the real shit right there.
Yeah.
That's not they're not trying to present something to people. They're just having a conversation. And in fact, he's trying to lower the microphone so that people don't catch what they're saying. You know what I mean? But it's real. It's real. What they're saying is real. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. And Speaker Johnson did not rip up the
it's shocking. I know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the point of what I was trying to say was, I think if that 5 or 20% of people were to be a fly on the wall and be able to hear what Trump's thoughts really are, talking to, private conversations with people in the cabinet, I think they would come around, because I really believe that Trump is trying to make America. I think his vision for America will improve the country. And I don't think people really believe that. I think that they believe that he's trying to improve his business or something. I'm not really sure, but they've got.
Well, they're trying to say like Elon Musk is trying to fleece the government for more money, like the richest guy in the world.
He's the richest man.
Did you hear what he said to CPAC? He's like,
yeah,
I wish I could steal more Social Security because then I could buy nice things.
Then I could finally buy nice things.
Like,
yeah,
really,
it was great.
Give me a break.
He also I was there actually. It was amazing. We all went nuts. Yeah, we all went nuts. There was a point when he said they're saying that Vladimir Putin owns me. That I'm owned by what he goes.
Right.
He goes, Vladimir Putin can't afford me.
Oh, that was solid gold.
Boom!
Dude.
Yeah, that was great, man. That was a
gold.
good Elon moment for sure.
Yeah. So President Trump, he had so many people there, and it's like this one here, when he was reflecting on what happened in Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
America will never forget that day, Chris.
Yeah.
We'll never forget that day. Wow.
Well, the man's a hero. He's going to go down in the history books as a great hero, protecting his family.
Yeah.
And in tragedy, there is something positive, some light, and it's great that he gets to be honored.
Yeah.
So often with this president.
We've got this clip here. Here's a clip from the speech talking about the economy.
Inherited from among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Look at them all sitting down. Yeah. Look at them all sitting there. Like, they don't want America to be affordable. They want us to all suffer. Like, what? Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to make America great again and the economy great again and make people's bank accounts great again? I don't know, man.
It's political theater. You know, they've
really
got to present a show of defiance against Donald Trump because he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
What's weird is that
Orange man bad.
I don't think that narrative is really working anymore.
It's tired. It's old.
It's boring.
Okay,
you know,
well, hang on. Well, first of all, we saw it for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
And then they continued it for another 4 years during all the attacks on him. It's like, okay, 8 years of that.
Yeah.
How much more can we endure? Another 4 years? Like, I think the American people are so tired of it. They see through it all. And I mean, that's just the truth. But, you know, President Trump's address, it was a battle cry for America's soul. A nation that nearly lost its way has been given new leadership, and the results speak for themselves. $1.7 trillion in new investments, a 95% drop in illegal border crossings, a military returning to its core mission of lethality. This is what winning looks like, and we're just getting started. And if Democrats can't stand for a cancer survivor, and can't applaud for capturing a terrorist who killed 13 American heroes, can't honor a slain officer's widow, do they care about any Americans? Or is their hatred for Trump so profound that they'll disrespect our heroes just to spite him? Tell us what you think in the comments below. And don't forget our exclusive Next News swag in the Next News merch shop. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right. Let's keep this party going. Let's see here. We've got any super chats to speak of. Only $10 in super chats tonight. What's going on? I guess everyone's not feeling the Trump effect yet.
Give it a month.
We got bills to pay, folks. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick because we got to get to our next segment. Democrats only care about personal gain and power. They don't care, says Brony. My family is from Poland, came here in 1939. I would just like to say that your forefathers got it right. How does it go down under, mate? Oh, speaking of down under, I actually was standing next to, in the press room today, Australian broadcasting. You know, it was really cool to meet her. Nice woman. Let's see. Checking in some more of these chats. The commie left hate we the people. JG Mopar. Okay, let's get into our next topic. We have a lot to get into tonight, so let's keep. Hey, Angie Warren, I saw that. Okay. Tucker Carlson couldn't have said it better when he called it a masterclass in leadership. Trump's address to Congress wasn't just a speech, it was a seismic event that shook the very foundations of American politics. From the Capitol steps, not far from where I'm broadcasting right now, you can still feel the aftershocks. And what we witnessed was Trump at his absolute best, delivering a vision so powerful that even CNN reported a staggering 69% approval. Secretary Burgum called it inspiring, and DNI Tulsi Gabbard praised it as incredible. And the Democrats had no response, no alternative vision, only petulant resistance. And this was more than politics. It was a profound reassertion of American exceptionalism. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what President Trump showed us last night is America is roaring back. But let me tell you something personal. I want to be at my best to witness this American renewal. And it starts with looking and feeling younger. A groundbreaking 2024 study confirms collagen dramatically improves skin health. I mean, look at my skin. Women taking daily collagen reported fewer wrinkles and firmer skin. That's why I use this amazing multi-collagen formula. It's transformed my appearance, and my wife can attest to it. Unlike store-bought varieties, this formula features 5 essential collagen types from 4 premium sources. It's easily digestible. It's non-GMO, so you know RFK Jr. loves it. And it blends perfectly into any drink. Order now at healthwithgary.com. Get 51% off plus free VIP coaching, a free skincare ebook, and each purchase helps feed hungry children. And we thank them for their support of this program. Okay, let's get into it now. Lots of news in this segment. Let me just get here we go. This is the post coverage we have. Okay. President Trump's address to Congress tonight. Oh, but I should tell you, we do have something special here. We have someone special here. It's Chris Coles, Mr. Reagan in the house, riding shotgun on the Raw feed at the Next News Network. He's going to be going through the news with me and with you. So let's find out what's happening here. We got this. President Trump's address to Congress affirmed every child's perfection as God made them.
Benefited them when Trump said tonight in his address to Congress that he wants every child in America to know that they are perfect just the way God created them, and that they were never trapped in the wrong body was one of the reasons I voted for him to be president. Trump tonight highlighted real issues that affected real people and how his policy changes and executive orders either benefited them or will make sure that they're less likely to occur again.
You know, I personally like whenever I see black people and they are like celebrating Trump, I know that there is like a Democrat crying somewhere. You know, like remember the movie It's a Wonderful Life? You know, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Like, well, every time a black person goes MAGA, you know, a Democrat starts cries in a corner in a safe space. You know,
look, the black conservatives are my favorite conservatives, and I'll tell you why. They get more crap than any of us. They get attacked viciously. Yeah. I have a friend who was called. He was called. He was a sort of a known conservative, black guy. He got a phone call. He puts it down on the coffee table, puts it on speakerphone, and lets me listen. And the stuff this guy was riddling off against my friend, you know, the nasty, nasty names he was calling him. It was just vicious, you know. And you know, we get done with the call and we have a little bit of a laugh about it. But it's a serious thing, you know. I mean, if you're a black conservative, you know that you're thinking for yourself. You know this is not something that you've, you know, been told you have to be this way or they're conforming to anything. They're saying, you know what, we're going to stand up for what we believe in. So they're very principled people. And so I think the black conservatives are like the most brave conservatives, and it's very impressive. I also think that there is a movement among Hispanics now shifting toward the right. And so this immigrant thing may even you know, come back against the Democrats.
Hispanics are traditionally conservative.
I've always believed,
religious Catholic.
I've always believed that if you just put up a bunch of posters in Spanish across America that say the Democrat Party is the party of atheism, just write that in Spanish.
No, the party of Satan.
That's true. You would win them over. You'd win them all over.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was pretty simple.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. This is Speaker Mike Johnson with Hannity after President Trump's address.
Joining us now with reaction, he is the Speaker of the House. He was standing for a big part of the night behind the president. Mike Johnson is with us. America's back. America's golden age is here. The American dream is unstoppable. And a pretty amazing night. I would argue probably Donald Trump's best speech.
I loved it, Sean. It was not a speech for the mainstream media. It was a speech for the American people. And I'm sure it was received as well at home as it was there by the Republicans and the audience up in the gallery. It was really shameful what the Democrats did. I mean, they really, it was quite a spectacle. They brought shame on themselves and their party. But the American people are following what the president is delivering, and they are appreciating it, and we certainly did tonight in the chamber.
Mr. Speaker, the Democrats sat down the entire night. They could not even stand for that young man. They could not stand for Laken Riley's family. They could not stand for Jocelyn Nungary's mother. They couldn't stand for anybody. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime or Social Security. Do they stand for anything?
No, not even the terrorists that we've apprehended now that masterminded the disaster at Abbey Gate. It was really quite a spectacle. You know, and if they're going to use a 77-year-old heckling congressman as the face of their resistance, then bring it on. But we're not going to tolerate that on the House floor. And I don't think the American people are going to tolerate that either.
Mr. Speaker, you're the Speaker of the House. What happens to somebody like Al Green when he pulls off a stunt like that?
Well, we escorted him off the floor. He couldn't behave himself. It's quite shameful. It brought shame on, I'm sure his constituents are not proud.
Now, I'm gonna pause real quick because that moment, I believe it was totally staged. Yeah. I believe that they were probably colluding in the back room saying, okay, who's going to be the one to get thrown out? And Al Green's like, raises his cane. He's like, I'll be the guy, you know? And like, he just wouldn't stop. You know, that's the moment when I was sitting in the White House and I was in the press room.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching this on my phone.
Yeah.
I was in the front row, sitting in Peter Doocy's seat for Fox News. And I'm like just reacting, like verbally reacting. And I got both my earbuds in. So I can't even hear myself, you know? Yeah. And then like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like looking around the press room and there's reporters, you know. Real quick, your thoughts on this moment.
No, yeah, look. This guy, you know, is a total dirtbag. What he's doing is inappropriate. And I just looked it up. 80% of the American people disapprove of what he did, which makes sense, of course.
80%.
80%. And they're going to censure him, I think either today or tomorrow, actually officially censure him in the Congress.
Yeah, he needs to be censured. Much like Adam Schiff was censured, but now the guy's a senator. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. We've got more in this segment here. This was 20 hours ago, the Small Business Association, Kelly Loeffler, talking about President Trump in his
closing the border. It was a tour de force of a president who's 42 days in that has more accomplishments in those 42 days than Joe Biden had in 4 years. We heard him talk about closing the border to violent, criminal, illegal aliens. We heard him talk about $100 billion in cost savings from DOGE. We heard him talk about keeping men out of women's sports. And we heard about $1.7 trillion in investment already. It took Joe Biden 4 years to get $1 trillion. People are investing in America. It is a new day in America. And people at home had to have loved what they've seen from this great president.
Yeah, it was great to witness. Let's see what Ted Cruz had to say.
President of the United States, this was fantastic. Tonight was incredible. This is the 5th State of the Union address I've seen Trump give. It was by far his best.
Okay, he even called it the State of the Union address.
Yeah, everybody does.
Everyone. Okay, yeah, so I guess I shouldn't feel so stupid.
No.
We're just over a month into it, and he had a litany of victories that we've already won, one after the other after the other. Listen, I thought he was joyful. I thought he was forward-looking. I thought he had the promise of America front and center. And I got to say the contrast. I have never seen such a disgraceful display as the Democrats put on. I've been to 13 State of the Union addresses altogether since I've been in the Senate. I've been to every one. I've never missed one. It started from the moment he walked in and was introduced, the President of the United States. Not a single Democrat stood, not a single Democrat applauded, not one. I've never seen that happen. Every time Joe Biden walked into that chamber and they introduced him as the President of the United States, I stood my butt up and I clapped. Every time Barack Obama walked in, I stood up and clapped. Even when I couldn't stand their policies, even when I was horrified at what they were doing, I respect the office of the President of the United States and I respect the American people. The contempt those Democrats had, they wouldn't stand as you
Look at their faces.
Nasty people.
noted. for the mom of Jocelyn Nungary. They wouldn't stand for Laken Riley's family. They wouldn't stand for the 13-year-old kid who survived brain cancer. They didn't stand for the young man whose father was a slain police officer, whom Trump admitted to West Point in the middle of the speech. They wouldn't stand for him. Even the Joint Chiefs applauded to the kid going to West Point. But you know what? The speaker got something slightly wrong. He said there was nothing they applauded for and stood for. That's not correct. There was one thing the entire night they applauded for, that we sent hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. And they all stood and cheered that we sent money to Ukraine, but they will not applaud for America.
The reason they're applauding for Ukraine is because all that money is coming back to them from lobbyists in the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they don't, they've created this illusion that Trump is the devil and Republicans are all evil. And so now if they even try to show respect for the office of the president, I think that they're afraid that their constituents are going to say, like, well, why are you applauding this when you've said that this man's Hitler, that this man is Mussolini, that this man is the devil? You can't do that. So they've got to keep up the illusion. They've got their stupid signs. I think they made themselves look very, very foolish, and I don't think it's going to work for them. I think it's going to backfire, just like a lot of the stuff they're doing, and it's going to improve Trump's popularity moving forward.
Here's Representative Mark Alford.
What do we have to compare in person? It was Biden last year who yelled at us. I still have PTSD from that. But let me tell you, President Trump did a remarkable job of recapping the wins for his administration. He has done more in the 43 days that he has been in office than most presidents have done in the entire term.
Yeah.
With me is the chairman of the Veterans Committee, Mike Boss, a good friend of mine. What'd you think, Mike?
Well, Mark, we have a president like we've never seen in our lifetime. He is aggressive. He is, what's unbelievable is his energy level is beyond measure. But he surrounded himself with people that you wouldn't normally surround yourself in politics, because what he did was he went out and chose the best for those jobs. He also then highlights everything that the American people are feeling, except for the Democrats.
The Democrats, I think, were disgusting in their display, especially Mr. Green from Texas. Although a nice guy, I think you just don't show that level of disrespect to the President of the United States. Kind of the same disrespect that Zelensky showed in the Oval Office. Look, I think we're headed in the right direction under this president. We have a long way to go. I can't believe we're going to have 3 years and 8 months more with this president in office, because this is a remarkable time in American history. And we are in for the ride of our lifetime to make America great again. This is an exciting time to be an American and an exciting time to be in Congress, don't you?
I think, we're only 40 some odd days in. This is only the beginning, dude.
Right.
I mean, who knows what's in store over the next 4 years, how much they're going to accomplish,
Yeah, I assumed that it would be going this light speed for a few days, and then they'd slow up a little bit. Nah. I've got a buddy who is a speechwriter for Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he'd gotten the job weeks ago, but he only got the paperwork maybe 3 days ago or something like that. He's filled it out and he's good to go. And I think he's working there now. I'll have to text him to find out. But yeah, we went to lunch the other day and he's like, yeah, I finally got my paperwork. I'm in. I'm like, good job, buddy. But it took forever. And the reason the hiring is so slow is because they've got their attention focused on actually doing great things. And also they really want to make sure that everyone they bring in is solid. They are really working hard to make sure everybody they bring in is solid. They vet everybody thoroughly, and they know that the people they're bringing in aren't going to betray them like what happened in 2017, 18, 19. Back then, there were so many leakers. There were so many saboteurs. We cannot have that this time around. And I think they're doing a great job of picking just the right people.
It's amazing. It really, really is. Pennsylvania resident. Here's a Pennsylvania resident on POTUS's message.
Things that should have. How did you feel about his message regarding?
Okay, and for context, this is on CNN. They're probably having heart attacks in the producer's booth.
How did you feel about his message regarding the economy? I thought it was very positive. I think what's
happening now. We used to be a country that would just let everything happen. Okay, we'll do this. You know, you guys, Panama can have this. You know, I think now we're taking back things that should have never been given away. So I think doing those tariffs and everything, I think it's well overdone. I mean, it should have been done a long time ago.
And she was directly referencing the Panama Canal, in which President Trump stated, we're going to take it back no matter what.
I think if you watch that closely, you can actually see the moment where the CNN reporters poo themselves. I think you can actually, it's in there. Yeah.
Oh, man. Here's, let's see, what's this? Senator Katie Boyd. Oh, this is like that underground train network they have. Oh, this is pretty cool. I someday want to check that out. Here she is talking about the moment.
Drive. Hey guys, what an honor to actually attend President Trump's first joint address here in his term. Look, he laid out the vision for how we're going to keep America safe and secure and strong, how we're going to unleash American energy, driving down prices and making sure that hardworking Americans' dollars go further. Look, this is about preserving the American dream. President Trump has a plan, a vision, and a will to execute. We've put the people around him to help achieve these goals. I am excited about what's in store for our future. It was a great night, and I'm looking forward to working alongside him to making these things happen.
That's cool. That's cool. I just personally like the underground train network that they have. And
yeah,
have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it. I've never been in it.
Did you know it existed, right?
It looks kind of cool. I've heard of it, but yeah. I've never. Where does it go?
I think it connects like buildings.
Right.
Like it connects like the Capitol building to like it's a complete underground, like these tiny
just
little
for congressmen.
Yeah, these tiny little cars that can hold like 4 to 6 people.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it. I'd like to jump in one day.
You're gonna have to call Sebastian Gorka and say, "Hey, will you take me underground?"
I know a few people who could get me on.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Representative Victoria Spart's great speech by President Trump. State of the Union is.
I think she might be the Ukrainian representative, right?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Represented Indiana's 5th congressional district.
I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I think she was from Ukraine originally.
No.
Some kind of Eastern European.
Let's see. We have, here's Reince Priebus. There's a name we haven't seen in a while. What's he talking?
Well, I thought it was extremely strong. And when he talked about, he said, common sense revolution, giving the government back to the people, that the government works for the people don't work for the government. I thought was really insightful into the mindset of the president. When he said that he was saved by God to make America great again. And I really thought when I heard that really explains this blitzkrieg mission that he's been on over the last several weeks as president. I also thought that the Democrats found themselves again, and you and Jonathan and the panel talked about this, but the Democrats found themselves again standing in the 25% on these issues. I mean, they couldn't stand up for, just taking these notes, they couldn't stand up for no tax on tips. They couldn't stand up for no tax on American cars. They couldn't stand up for no taxes on Social Security. They couldn't stand up for Russian prisoners being brought back to the United States. They couldn't stand up for record low border crossings. And they couldn't stand up for no boys and girls sports, even though half the women were wearing pink. I mean, it's almost as if they don't get it. Now, I will say the senator from Michigan did a good job of laying out the things that we can agree on. A strong middle class, a strong defense, that democracy is still worth fighting for. I mean, she lost it when she tried to defend the Democrats' actions on the border. She lost it when she started trying to claim the president, Trump, is trying to raid Social Security. But again, the Democrats can't find their footing. And it was very clear tonight that the president was taking a victory lap. He was pounding the Democrats into the ground. I think they embarrassed themselves out of the gate with walkouts and disorganized protests, and Al Green made a fool of himself as well. So again, it's just more of the same from the Democrats. They just can't seem to get their act together. Well,
yeah, they certainly can't. Here is this is the Secretary Scott Bessent on the Democrats flailing.
That complicated. You like it? Like this.
The current 25% tariffs are about securing the border, about fentanyl, and then on April 2nd, we're going to see the reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah, it's really not that complicated. You liking the new job? How do you like this this swamp?
Well, I don't know about the swamp, but the cabinet's great. The president's amazing. Every day is...
He's a force of nature, isn't he?
Oh, my God. And he's
metaphysical force.
He's on a roll, and that speech tonight was incredible. And you know, I think that...
I've known him 30 years. I think it's the best speech he ever gave.
I think it was fantastic. And the Democrats are flailing because you can't just be the resistance. You got to be for something. And they haven't coalesced. They have no idea what they're for. They're just against Donald Trump. And he continues winning, and they're just off balance. And you know, he's in there every day for the American people.
Well,
yes, he is.
They really are the party of resistance. They're just resisting. Let me analyze the Democrats real quick. Any position Donald Trump takes, any position Republicans take, Democrats will take the opposite position. So there's this old joke where it's like Donald Trump should just get up and announce that he is pro-breathing. I am pro-breathing. We should all breathe, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah, he's even said if I cure cancer, they're gonna attack me for that.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of curing cancer, did Joe Biden? He made a campaign promise, if I recall. He was gonna cure cancer. I'm still waiting.
I think he said we cured cancer. I think is what he said.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that never
wild,
happened.
huh?
Here is Secretary Burgum talking with Caitlin Collins. I saw Caitlin today in the press office. Anyway, let's.
Well, I think the fact that he's been very clear that these are reciprocal tariffs, that is a negotiating tool, because we'll have some countries, and many have. I mean, in aggregate across the world, the other countries tariff America more than we tariff them. Our market has been more open than they've been to us, both in a sense of a tariff and also in non-monetary restrictions, which he mentioned in his remarks. So if our market's open and theirs aren't, he just wants reciprocity. So if they say, hey, we're going to lower our tariff on America, we'll lower ours. I mean, it could also be a path where some countries may just choose, we don't want to have tariffs either way on goods coming to or from America. So it's really up to other countries. They can choose. Well, I think the fact that he's been very clear.
And there are other things that Trump wants from these countries. And when you have something like a tariff to help you negotiate, you've got leverage. All you need to do to understand what Trump is doing internationally, in terms of his international policy, read The Art of the Deal. It is not that difficult. He's got everything in there. And it's obvious. If you want to win in a negotiation, you must have leverage. You go out there willing to walk away from the negotiation. You know, that's what he did with Zelensky. Everything that he does is very obvious if you just read his book. These guys hate him so much they won't read his book. Honestly, I don't think they want to understand Trump because they just want to hate him and misinterpret everything that he does.
Here's a tweet from Tulsi Gabbard, and you know the Tulsi's speech, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
yeah. See, this is why you watch the Raw feed, because you get
all the inside
scoop
stuff,
about what's really going on. We're joined by Mr. Reagan on YouTube, Chris Coles. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and you're going to get some very unique political commentary and, of course, some beautiful satire. Satire so beautiful that Elon Musk loves to retweet and repost him.
Well, once.
There will be more, Chris. There will be more. She said Trump's speech was incredibly powerful, historic accomplishments being shared, impactful guests he had and FLOTUS invited, beautifully demonstrate our core mission, serve the American people. We finally have strong leadership again. Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah.
She's got this great streak in her hair, this great silver streak.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, that's her trademark.
Yeah, she's like Rogue from the X-Men.
Or Cruella de Vil.
Don't say that. The left will run with it.
One.
The left will run with it.
All right. So here's the moment you can see on the screen there. This is when Trump walked in, Speaker Johnson. There's the beautiful First Lady. I mean, just an amazing night. So Trump's masterful address reminded us of what real leadership looks like. Senator Ted Cruz called it by far his best, while Senator Katie Boyd Britt praised how Trump is putting Americans first. Even Pennsylvania residents felt the impact, with one saying, "We're taking back things that should have never been taken away." The message was crystal clear. America is reclaiming its destiny under Trump's leadership. The golden age isn't just a promise, it's already unfolding before our eyes. So here's the question that is haunting Democrats tonight. If Trump has accomplished more in 42 days than Biden did in 4 years, what excuse do Democrats have for their decades of failed leadership? How can they possibly justify opposing policies that are clearly working for their constituents, the American people? Share your thoughts on whether you think Democrats are opposing Trump's agenda out of principle or pure political desperation. And believe me, I read the comments. So, and make sure you check out our brand new Next News gear. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. And see that hat right there? I want to see all you guys wearing this hat, right? Or the MAGA Avengers shirt right here. You see that? That's Elon Musk and Ron Paul. That's an image I made. It's exclusive. And the MAGA Avengers, yes, that came from this brain. Okay, I love you guys. We'll see you at the next report. Okay, we do have some super chats, and I think one of them was directed at you, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? We're going to get some super chat action going on. Right now, we're at $46.98. That's about the cost of an Uber. Come on, guys. Pick up the pace.
I will be spending more than that to get back to my hotel.
Really?
No.
Okay. So we have Deb Noble. Welcome to the family. Has become a member.
Nice.
And Ronnie Lee dropping $5 in the jar tonight. Gary, my wife and I absolutely love you and the work you do. Thanks, brother. Well, thank you, Ronnie, and your wife. Really appreciate it.
Good taste, Ronnie's got.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have Wounds Are Us again. Zelensky, thank you for the $10. I appreciate that. Zelensky never came clean about the details of that call. Never trust the cross. Oh, I'm not even going to say it, but you guys can see what's on the screen there. That came in from Rumble. And then we got this from Curio23, $1.99. This is, okay, Mashi Misfit. What does that mean? I don't even know.
I think it's Moshi Moshi.
Moshi Moshi?
I don't really know what misfit means, but Moshi Moshi is how you answer the phone in Japan.
Oh, hello, Misfit.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Moshi.
Moshi Moshi. Moshi Moshi is hello in Japan.
Moshi Moshi.
On the phone when you're
And then, okay, this was, I believe, directed at you. Oh, yeah, Alice, what's up? Asking if Mr. Reagan is married.
No, Alice, I'm single. Let's go get hitched.
Whoa. Yeah.
And $19, that'll do it for me. That's about all I need.
Yeah, that's good. And
that's great.
It'll help
that's a
pay
great
for
super
your
chat,
marriage license in Las Vegas with Alice.
Exactly.
Very nice.
That's right.
Deplorable Diva Haynes, $5 from Deplorable Diva Haynes. Thank you, Diva Haynes. And our Boyd dropping $10. He is one of our top members. Show Gary some love.
Yeah.
Be sure to smash that like and share this on your social media.
Yeah, and Gary, you need to build up your X account. Everybody's got to join Gary's X account. What's your X account called, Gary? It's just Next News Network?
Well, I've got Next News Network, which is, I mean, really I spend most of my time there. And then I have my personal, which is just Gary Franchi.
Yeah.
I don't spend enough time there. It's just, how many freaking
join
X
Next
posts can
News
I do?
Exactly. Everybody's got to join it because you know what? I think X is a very powerful social media engine. We get all our news there and everything like that. And it's good to have a big following on X. So follow Gary on X.
Thank you. Yeah, our X account is actually growing now quite nicely. It's exciting to see. And then we got Sue Studio 0530. Looks like a super sticker, cursive red lettering, spelling out vlog. Tom B 420. Thanks, Gary, for all you do. Loved the Reed parody, Mr. Reagan.
Thanks so much.
Nice. Oh, check this out.
Reed one, yeah.
Dude, $50, bro.
Wow.
Nice. Thank you, America, voting for Trump. You saved the country. Resto guy won, dropping $50.
Resto guy.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, dude. This guy's enjoying the Trump economy for sure.
Yeah.
So right now we're at $103.97. We have one new member who now has access to the behind the scenes content. And of course, you want to see some of this behind the scenes.
What? I think we're still good.
What?
I think we're still
something?
good. You know what? I'm going to become a member because I want to see your behind the scenes content, even though I'm here and I can see it.
Yeah, you're like literally behind the scenes. Hang on, we just had a big glitch here. I'm not sure exactly.
I think we're all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. I know, Brian, but you don't see what I see. Do you see what I see? Teleprompter glitching on the show.
Hey, save it for the members only content.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. All right. I think we got topic 3. Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, man. All right. Okay. Save it for Mike Sherman dropping 1999. Thank you, Mike Sherman.
Thank you, Mike.
We are rocking and rolling here. Let me just, I got to move this thing here. What is my mouse not working anymore? Okay. That's fine. I'm still learning how to use the internet, guys. Okay, let's get to.
Please hold for technical difficulties.
Yeah, please hold. Let me get the Indian on the screen with the.
Yeah.
Okay. The mask finally came off last night, folks. I'm broadcasting live from the heart of Washington, D.C., and I can tell you the atmosphere in this town is electric after what transpired, especially. You should hear some of these Uber drivers, what they're saying in the car. Anyway, Democrats, they revealed exactly who they are, and it wasn't pretty. When President Trump announced the capture of a certain terrorist responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing, they sat stone-faced. When he honored the family of slain NYPD officer Jonathan Diller, they wouldn't stand. When he recognized a 13-year-old cancer survivor, they rolled their eyes. Even MSNBC couldn't defend their behavior, with one saying, I don't know who thought of the bingo signs, but they should be fired. This wasn't just disrespectful, it was un-American. And what we're seeing in Washington, it does mirror what many Americans are experiencing. Chronic pain that just won't quit. Like Democrats refusing to acknowledge America's renewed strength, many of us suffer through persistent joint pain daily. That's why I need to tell you about an incredible hack for fighting inflammation. It's not just ordinary turmeric, it's a special extract 200 times more powerful than standard varieties. When Connecticut's leading pain doctor shared this with patients, the results were astounding. It attacks inflammation at the source, turning pain off like a switch. Dr. Josh has spent 20 years helping hundreds of thousands break free from constant aches without surgeries or ineffective medications. I noticed a real difference using it myself. So learn about this remarkable discovery at goldenrevive.com/NNN. The link is in the description. Now, we have something special for you in this segment. We're joined by Mr. Reagan himself. He is Chris Coles. He is the man behind all the masterful parodies and stinging political commentary. If you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, you need to. And he's riding shotgun today. So let's jump into what we are covering right now. Let's get to I should have queued this up, but I didn't. And that's my fault. Where are we?
What are we looking for here, Gary?
I don't know. Doge? Are we going to do the Doge again? Here, talk to the people right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, join the Mr. Reagan YouTube channel and follow me on X, Mr. Reagan USA. You know, I've been making these parodies for a while, and they kind of kicked off when Elon Musk retweeted one of them. Really went nuclear. And I believe, not everybody believes this, but I believe that comedy is actually a magnificent way to present political ideas. You can present them in a very serious tone if it's a really serious political topic, but I actually think it helps to add a little bit of entertainment value. And I think the same thing could be true of when you're talking to your relatives at Thanksgiving. I mean, this is part of the reason why we do these shows, is because we want people to share these ideas with leftists or maybe people who are, politically lost or just ignorant of politics. And I think one way of doing it is just be charming And what is humor but a sort of aspect of charisma, of charm? And so that's kind of why I decided to do some parody videos along with my other more serious content. I try to break news. I try to do things, talk about stuff that is serious in nature, the different deep state, aspects of the deep state. But I also like to add a little bit of humor. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I think we need to talk about the reaction from the left right now.
Oh, of Trump's speech last night. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. First, we have Peyton McNabb. This is her reaction.
In women's sports, I wonder where they think they are with the American public on this issue. You'll see them in the audience, as you saw firsthand. These Democrats, congresswomen who showed up in pink specifically to protest President Trump's policies on women. As this is happening, we've got new polling from the New York Times on biological males in women's sports. And Peyton, when asked about thinking about transgender female athletes, meaning athletes who were born male and then choose to be female and participate in women's sports, only 18% think that should be allowed. Nearly 80% of respondents say that should not be allowed. So why do they think, Democrats, think that they're speaking for the people on this issue by protesting fairness in women's sports?
Once again, the Democrats have proven how out of touch they really are. I mean, like you said, 80% of the country agrees with this across all party lines. So for them to be willing to die on this hill just to push this agenda is absurd. And last night, I thought that the pink suits and everyone matching was real cute when, of course, the day before, 0 Democrats voted for the protection of women and girls. And then 0 Democrats stood and applauded when I was getting recognized for my injury because, like Raleigh said, I mean, they couldn't be more anti-woman. And frankly, they are anti-American. They really embarrassed themselves all night. And it was honestly sad to see. But I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
I wonder.
Yeah, I'm not surprised anymore. I really wasn't shocked. I was expecting a lot of the outbursts that we saw, and of course, Brian, hit the clock for me, would you? Here's Alexis Nungari. They don't stand for us as citizens.
For our security.
If they can't stand and applaud you and stand up for the right of innocent people like your daughter, what does that party stand for? I found it repulsive.
They don't stand for anything humane. They don't stand for us as citizens. They don't stand for our security. They don't stand for honorable things that we need in this country. And it's very disgraceful to us as U.S. citizens that those are the people that we have here in Congress and House and Senate. It's disgusting.
They should all be voted out. If they don't represent the people, like, what are they doing here? Here is from David Axelrod. Wow. David Axelrod. He was Obama's chief of staff, or what was his deal with Obama? Do you remember?
Yeah. He's a major Democrat operative.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to mine our differences. It's another thing to try and heal our differences. And that is, that's the difference between real leadership and political expediency.
Would it have been healing to stand for Mark Fogel? Might have been.
No, I agree. You are absolutely right.
DJ Johnson.
Well, I will do what you will not. I will say, I think there were times when they should have risen. I think what Al Green did was despicable. So
what Al Green did was despicable. Here's Speaker Johnson speaking about Al Green's shameful behavior.
Somebody like Al Green when he pulls off a stunt like that?
Well, we escorted him off the floor. He couldn't behave himself. It's quite shameful. It brought shame on, I'm sure his constituents are not proud of that tonight. But I suspect that there'll be a censure resolution brought on the floor to discipline him. We have to do that inside the House. We have to maintain decorum. Yeah.
And maintain decorum. Again, I go back to saying I think that thing was totally scripted and totally staged. They were ready to make a real scene for some political theater.
There are a few very low IQ congressmen. Let me tell you, Maxine Waters, we know, AOC, We know. There's someone in Hawaii called Mazie Hirono, one of the most low IQ people in Congress. And then we got this guy, Alan Green. I've heard this guy say some of the dumbest stuff.
Isn't he the congressman that thought that Guam was going to tip over?
No, that was Hank Johnson.
Okay.
Hank Johnson earns the medal for the single dumbest thing ever said by a congressman. He said that he believed that if we have too many military troops in Guam, that the island would actually capsize because the guy doesn't know how islands work. Apparently, he has the image of an island of like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Here's more from Speaker Johnson's reaction.
Shame on themselves. It was really shameful what the Democrats did. I mean, they really, it was quite a spectacle. They brought shame on themselves and their party. But the American people are following what the president is delivering, and they are appreciating it, and we certainly did tonight in the chamber.
Yes, I think all of America did. Here's Caroline Levitt. President Trump just announced the terrorist mastermind behind the Abbey Gate bombing, which killed 13 U.S. service members, has been apprehended and will soon come to America to face justice. Democrats did not stand or clap, and she says these are despicable people. Democrats, when President Trump makes progress towards peace in Ukraine, they have no interest in peace, only endless wars. Here we have more discussing Democrat states seated in opposition to legislation to take down illegal revenge. You see the word on the screen there. It's sick and twisted. What is wrong with these people? Here's more. Can you imagine if that speech, this is from Kelly, she posted this. Can you imagine if that speech last night would have been given by Biden? Every Democrat would have been clapping and cheering. They didn't cheer for the sole fact that it was Trump's words.
What I think about the speech is it wasn't as extreme as some of the stuff that Trump does. When Trump presents like at CPAC, his presentation at CPAC, very funny, very charming. Conservatives, people like you and me who support Trump, we've heard a lot of the stuff that was said last night. But you know who hasn't heard a lot of the stuff that was said last night? Democrat voters, independent voters. And so I think Trump pulled it back a little bit, and he wasn't as bombastic and as funny as he normally is. But I think it was the right choice because he was addressing those, 5 to 20% of Americans who I think would support Trump if they really believe that Trump was genuine in his desire to improve the country. Right now, they've been convinced that he's a con man by the left who lies to them constantly. And I think he's trying to talk to them, and I think he may have won a few of them over. I think it was a great job.
I think after last night's speech, I think that it's going to move the needle even more in his direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I think when the Democrats pulled that stunt with Al Green and the political theater there, I'm sure there's quite a few Democrats that are embarrassed by that behavior.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's listen to this woman here, what she's saying.
That still was not good enough. Saying we want people that went to this speech last night. What did they do? Did they get together like on a call the week before and say, hey, everybody, we're not going to clap at all for the president at all. Even if we agree a little bit with what he's saying, we're not going to clap. We're going to sit here like this. We're going to pass out signs that say, you're not my king, you're a liar, you're a thief. Everyone's going to, because the Democrats love signs. We're going to hold up signs and we're going to make our point be known. We'll stand once when President Trump walks in, but we're not going to stand at all during the night. I never thought that I would be agreeing with something that Donald Trump has said, but here we are. It doesn't matter what I do. I could find the cure for the most deadliest disease, and these people still would not care. They would not stand. They would not clap. It's almost like they want Donald Trump to fail. That's the impression that I got as a Democrat. It's like if Donald Trump fails for the next 4 years, we all fail. It was awful last night. You had Al Green getting dragged out of there after waving his cane, going, there's no mandate. Elizabeth Warren playing on her phone all night. I can't imagine sitting in front of the president and playing on my phone. Someone came into my comments on the post that I made yesterday, and they said, you didn't leave your party left you. That just, it hit a nerve with me because this is not the Democratic Party that I have seen in the past. This is something entirely different. Even when Donald Trump was going line by line and saying where all of the waste was, that still was not good enough. Saying we want proof, we want to see proof, we want numbers, and they have been putting out reports every day. The reason why the Democrats are so upset is because their names are going to end up being tied to all this fraud, corruption, and wasted money.
Yeah.
Why else would they be so opposed to finding out the truth in spending and our tax dollars? Why would they be so upset? Who wouldn't want to know that information? Last night was a freaking embarrassment as far as I'm concerned. And I never thought that I would say that because I am not a Trump fan. I did not vote for Trump. If you follow me, you know that I did not. But last night, I saw a room filled with people that I didn't even recognize anymore.
Wow.
Bro, that is exactly what we were saying before you played the clip.
Yeah.
Trump's winning them over.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are, I don't know what they're doing. They call it, in Europe, they call it an own goal. Because in soccer, if you make an own goal, your own
goal.
Yeah, it means you've hit the ball into the wrong goal.
Oh, okay.
And you've scored a point for the other team like a fool. And I think that the Democrats have
go ahead.
have executed an own goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's winning them over big time. And the Democrats, if they were smart, they'd try to coalesce around some kind of a strategy of positivity.
Positivity, yeah. At least show respect to the man that won the popular vote. Stand up when he walks into the room. Stand up, give a little bit of a polite applause. You don't have to like him.
Well, like the clip we played from the other segment about, from The View, like she's like, there's no mandate. Well, there is a mandate, Here's NBC's Kristen Welker on NBC News. The speech was brash and boastful, intensely partisan. Yeah, of course. This is Kristen Welker for you, though.
Democrats in Donald Trump's first address to a joint session of Congress since starting his second term. I am Kristen Welker in Washington, where President Trump tonight touted what he described as the swift and unrelenting action of his first 6 weeks in office, highlighting his administration's sweeping cuts to government, doubling down on his expansive view of executive authority, while vowing to keep pushing the limits of that authority. The speech was brash, boastful at times, intensely partisan, focused on culture war issues, and at times ripe with hyperbole. It was also the longest presidential address to Congress ever. Democrats in the hall pushing back, at times vocally, many holding signs of protest, even after being urged by Democratic leader Jeffries to maintain a dignified presence. A number of Democrats left the chamber before the address.
Look at that. Musk steals. Save Medicaid. Like, what's Musk stealing?
No, you got to read it in their voice. Hold on. Musk steals.
Oh, my God.
Save Medicaid.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how they say it.
Oh, wow.
It's an impression of all Democrats.
What's he stealing?
You know what she said there that really kind of annoyed me? She goes, he's pushing the limits of his presidential authority or something like that. Maybe a presidential power or something. What are you talking about? No, she said specifically that he promised to continue to push the limits. What are you talking about? What promise was that? I don't remember hearing that. This is just how Democrats interpret everything. This is a distortion.
Well, and like what limit to president? If he has the authority, he's not pushing the limit. He's simply executing the authority.
Yeah, exercising.
Yeah,
exercising.
Like there's no limit to push.
I'm unaware of anything that's like a really serious concern about Trump, pushing the limits of presidential authority. But they want you to believe that he's an authoritarian dictator. This is what they've been saying for years. Yeah. They want you to believe it. Now, I have actually presented a concern that the deep state would be willing to do some pretty sinister stuff to make it look like Trump's a bad president. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to say that
you don't want to plant any seeds.
Well, I don't want to say that I believe that this is true because I really don't want to believe it. But it's possible they could do something as sinister as a terrorist attack in our country to make Trump look bad, to force him to exercise more authority, to say, like maybe something like, martial law or something. And then they say, look, he is the authoritarian. What I think is maybe more likely is that they would find a way to try to crash the economy. And then they say, look what Donald Trump has done. You should always listen to us. You should hate the conservatives. They're a disaster. Always listen to the mainstream media because we will tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, you're watching the Raw feed on the Next News Network where we tell you the truth. And here's Scott Jennings, speaking of truth, one of the lone voices on CNN, one of my favorite guys. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side. And
This was a horrific night for the opposition party, regardless of how well she just spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
that you said false on one side. And
Ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that. I thought Democrats came into this speech lost and defeated by Donald Trump, and today it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech started.
Yeah, that's true.
People that went.
That's good analysis.
Yeah, I love Scott Jennings.
He's fantastic, man. When he takes, he's like a sniper. You know, it's like you're bringing in new Democrats from the snipe. Like, come in, all right, thunk. Okay, bring in the next one, thunk. You know, he's just great.
Here's Guy Benson on Fox.
Prove him the auction paddles, the scowls, stone face. You know, early in the evening, Trump sort of needled the Democrats, half joking that they would never clap for anything that he said. And they proceeded to prove him precisely correct for the entire speech. It's almost like the speech was designed as a game. You mentioned a game show. Will they clap? They're like, all right, let's move to the next one. Kid with cancer. Will they clap? No. All right, here's a guy who just got into a military academy. Will they clap? No. Here's the family of someone who was tragically killed. Will they stand and acknowledge? No. It was quite a showing by the opposition party. Yeah,
You know, for some reason, when I see this clip, I think of when I was in the press room today and I saw Peter Doocy, and he was walking past me after the press conference, and I go, "There goes the Prince of Fox News."
Nice. Did he respond?
Yeah, he laughed. He laughed. I thought that was funny because
he is kind of the Prince of.
He is the Prince of Fox. Yeah. I remember when I saw him there the first time when I walked into the basement of the press office, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" I took a selfie with him.
That's great. Cool. That's very generous. Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, Chuck Schumer. What's he saying? Chuck Schumer knows. Gunter Eagleman saying, Chuck Schumer knows the way other Democrats acted last night was atrocious. Let's listen.
Well, look, the bottom.
You called it nasty. It was like 4 minutes into the speech when Congressman Al Green was yelling at the podium and he was escorted out. What was going through your head as you heard the congressman yelling?
Well, look, the bottom line is lots of people are frustrated, but the best way to protest what Trump is doing what we are doing and many senators and many congressmen are doing, and that is organizing against these horrible policies of calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme and then slashing
would you
people
rather,
in Social
would you
Security
rather
offices.
that Congressman
So here's
Green,
what we're, John, here's what we're doing.
Would you rather that he not yell?
Let me just say, the best answer, in my judgment, is to organize. So I put a call together last week with our activists. I thought 300-400 people would get on the phone. 3,000 people got on the phone. And what we all decided was we're going to focus our energy on the 6 Republican Congress members from New York, because they hold the key to stopping these horrible policies. As you know, in the House, all you need 1 or 2. In the Senate, you need 3 or 4. We don't have Republican senators in New York, but in other states there are. And the best way to organize and protest is to organize. Organizing is hard, but it's effective, and that's what we're doing.
Well, let me ask a different way. Would you rather see Democrats more in line with what Senator Alyssa Slotkin was saying, or more in line with what Congressman Al Green and people holding signs in the audience were doing last night?
Look, I thought Alyssa Slotkin, I chose her because she is such one of our rising stars. From the Midwest, won a race, knows how to talk to average folks, to working families, and she did a great job. And I think, again, the American people got more truth in 5 minutes of her speech than with all the lies, with all the misconceptions, with all the things that were departing from reality. When Donald Trump says he's the greatest president after 30 days of chaos and hurting people since George Washington, give me a break.
You called it nasty.
I just want to go on a cookout with him.
Yeah, so that you can get.
I want some raw meat and some cheese. What do you think about it?
What a loony guy, you know. Of course, he's just got to be negative.
Yeah.
It's just default negative.
Look at his face. He's like, meh.
I'm pretty sure that he is the love child of Satan and the Count from Sesame Street. I'm pretty sure that's how he was conceived.
Oh, the Count? I could see that. I can definitely see that. Oh, man. Let's keep going. We got more. Okay, what's this guy got to say? I
I reposted this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said, let's make this guy famous.
Okay, well, let's make him famous.
He's amazing.
Brain cancer survivor, huh?
This is an 8-minute clip.
Yeah.
You bring little ping pong paddles with various dysregulated nonsense.
You play it at 1.5.
That's typical
1.5?
of
Okay, we'll try that. I never do that, but
have you never done that?
No.
Yeah, because he just leaves gaps between what he's saying, so it might be a little bit more
good
of who you are these days. You couldn't cheer for a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer getting sworn in to the Secret Service. You made a scene at the beginning of this joint session where one of your members got removed by the sergeant at arms, and I'm taking the over on if you'll blame it on racism with your old greasy ass. You don't stand for the victims of families murdered by illegal aliens. You don't do anything except look absolutely ridiculous. And then Nicole Wallace says something so unhinged and so flat out evil and removed from reality about that boy with terminal brain cancer. All you've done is prove exactly why I was absolutely right to renounce this motherfucking party.
Whoa.
This evil, state-worshipping, power-hungry, money-grubbing, war-mongering party. You deceitful brood of vipers. You're so afraid to show the least little bit of humanity. And maybe I'm feeling a little emotional because I didn't say this earlier, but a good friend, my very first friend passed away last week. I found that out. He'd been my friend for 30-some years. And I found out he passed away. So maybe I'm a little bit more emotional than I realize. Trump helped me with that speech. He helped to uplift me. Yeah, and he'll probably never see this. I don't know. But the fact that the Democrat Party, the party that I supported for many years, the fact that this party is so afraid to be seen as human, they're so afraid to be they're too afraid to show any type of humanity. All is political. All must be subverted and subsumed by the state. You truly are a death cult now, Democrats. You are a death cult. You speak in mantras. You are ghetto. You are hood rats. You worship oligarchy. You worship war. You are now the worshipers of the altar of Mars. And we're going to have more tomorrow on Apostate Radio. Me and Nos. But it makes me sick to my stomach. Democrats, this is why I renounced you a month ago. This is why I told you that this is a party full of theater kids. This is a party that's full of people who want to look good rather than actually do good. Y'all are evil. Y'all are evil. You're sick. You are twisted. Something is wrong with you. You are demon possessed. Vile swamp creatures.
Wow.
Who have the audacity to think that you are more enlightened than the rest of us. Condescending fucking animals, all of you. Godless creatures. You can't stand for a child. All of the corruption, that all of the waste and everything that's been found by this administration. You can't even be happy about that. You're fucking losers. You're losers. You don't want this country to be great. That's what it is. You don't want this country to be great because the money would run out for you. The support would run out for you if this country was ever great. And that's why you want to keep us down. That's why you want to say, that's why you would say crazy, insane shit like, oh, I just hope that 13-year-old boy never has to defend the Capitol against Trump supporters. He can't even run in 2028. He can't even run. You dysregulated animals.
God.
You think you're better than people because you believe that a man in a dress should be called a woman. You think you're better than everybody because you advocated for every perverted thing that came down the pike. You're a disgrace to this country, Democrats. You're a shameful fucking disgrace. Racist oligarchs. You are the party of war. You are the party of violence against women. You are the party of pure psychological and moral inversion. And I renounce you once again. Be gone from our political system, and soon.
Wow.
So you
Isaiah Carter.
Yeah.
Dude,
can't stand for a...
that was brutal, dude.
Amazing. I love that guy.
Wow.
I love it. I retweeted that 18 hours ago, and I quoted him. He says, "This evil, state-worshipping, power-hungry, money-grubbing, warmongering party, you deceitful brood of vipers, you truly are a death cult now, Democrats." And I wrote, "Make this man go viral."
Wow.
And people are making him go viral. I don't think it's because of my tweet, but they are making him go viral. He's currently got 565,000 views for that on X, 61,000 likes, 11,000 retweets, 2.2 thousand comments. I mean, this guy's a legend. Wow. What an amazing speech.
Did we play this one yet? This is Scott Jennings.
It's always good if Scott Jennings
if it's
says
Scott
something.
Jennings, we'll play it again. Whatever.
Ridiculous. This was a horrific night for the opposition party, regardless of how well she just spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control.
Oh, you know what?
Then they
this is a different version of that same clip.
Yeah, the other clip was
it was
cut
cropped
tighter.
in. Yeah. Scott Jennings, always a good watch for sure.
Good watch.
Here's Britt Hume. What's going on? What's here?
Colossus. I also think it may have been the most effective. I mean, if you ever doubted that Donald Trump is the colossus, the political colossus of our time and our nation, this night and this speech should have put that to rest. The Democrats seem to be falling into trap after trap after trap as he recognized these people and celebrated the people he pointed to in the gallery and their stories, while the Democrats sat glumly on their hands through all of that. It was a terrible look. Al Green's attempt to disrupt the speech was a bad look for the Democrats. This was I think, politically speaking, this was pretty powerful stuff, as powerful as I think I've heard.
Wow. So
I like the word glumly.
Yeah.
It's an underused word.
Scott Jennings' takedown of the Democrats says it all. A horrific night for the opposition party, and he's right. The contrast couldn't be clearer. While President Trump honored heroes and victims, Democrats couldn't even muster basic respect. Alexis Nungari, Jocelyn's mother, called every Democrat a coward for not acknowledging families who lost loved ones. As Representative Al Green was rightfully removed for disrupting the president's speech, Speaker Johnson announced, "I suspect there will be a censure resolution." Democrats have shown they're not just the opposition party, they are the anti-American party. So here's the question every voter should be asking. If Democrats can't bring themselves to honor fallen officers, victims of illegal alien crime, or even a celebrated child cancer survivor, what do they actually stand for? Have they become so consumed by their hatred for President Trump that they've completely abandoned any pretense of caring about American citizens? Let us know if you think the Democrat Party can ever recover from this shameful display. And show your support for the Next News Network by going down to the link in the description, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Grab a hat, grab a shirt, and show the world you stand with real news. Okay, so some interesting stuff is happening here. Let me just check something. Okay, I heard a. Did you hear a beep in your earbud?
Yeah, a few beeps.
What was that?
I don't know.
Does that mean
I know what's going on in your studio.
So yeah, okay. So check this out, guys. So the phone. This is the phone that I connect to the stream, so you guys can see what's going on. We're at 24% battery. I don't think I've ever done a show where we've got.
Oh, that's why you were saying, because you kept showing it to me. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, why you keep showing me the battery? I don't care about what the battery is.
Yeah, this is the battery for the show. Like this phone like runs the whole show, right?
Yeah.
You know.
This is like a slight panic.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, 20. But I've never done a show where it's got that low before.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I was using this at the White House press room today. But I do have a backup phone here, which is at 100%. So fear not, my friends.
Yeah.
We will survive, unlike the Democrats after last night. Okay. We're going to go into our fourth topic. And let's see where we at in topic number 4. Topic 4. I thought these were renamed. Let's see. Man.
See, I heard the beep again.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Oh, wonderful.
The batteries are dying.
Also, yeah, but we always run this much time, and we never had these battery problems before.
That's true. That's true. We were playing with them earlier. Yeah, it's true. That
Goodness, we were.
I think we'll be all right. Let's just do it.
If we lose ear, we can't hear.
Okay. Well, if we lose ear, you'll just close out, and we'll end it.
Oh yeah. Hey, Ahmed, do you have headphones? Like 2 headphones and a splitter, potentially?
Headphones?
Yeah, like headphones. Like we need 2 of them and potentially a splitter, so you can branch it out.
Just one set of headphones. It's fine. You can finish up the show alone.
Okay.
I'll dance in the background.
Just dance. All right.
I need to double check.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. My goodness, man. 23% battery.
Let's just get it done. Let's just get it done.
Okay. Let's go. The numbers don't lie, Patriots. Reporting from Washington, D.C. tonight, I can tell you that President Trump's border policies are working so well that even Democrats can't spin their way out of it. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks has confirmed an astonishing 95% drop in illegal crossings at the southern border. So let that sink in. In just 44 days, Trump has nearly solved the crisis that Biden let spiral out of control for 4 years. And the contrast couldn't be more stark. Trump is removing, in his words, illegal immigrant scumbags from our streets, while Democrat mayors like Boston's Wu are telling illegals, you belong here. Border czar Tom Homan is now searching for 350,000 children who went missing under Joe Biden. And President Trump's border success mirrors what's happening with breakthrough pain management. Just like he found a solution to the border crisis that previous administration claimed was impossible, medical experts have discovered a game-changing pain reliever. Canalidine is revolutionizing pain management for Americans suffering at the border of endurance and desperation. This 100% drug-free compound optimizes your body's natural endorphins, delivering complete relief without dangerous side effects. That's why over 1 million Americans and countless professional athletes have embraced it. Unlike addictive pharmaceuticals that crossed our borders under previous administration, Canalidine is certified drug-free, non-habit forming, and backed by 14 years of clinical research. You can try it risk-free for 90 days at less than $1 per day. So hit the link in the description, tricano.com/NNN. You have nothing to lose except your pain. And joining me right now, We have Chris Coles. He is from the YouTube channel, Mr. Reagan. He is the one of the most beautiful men on the internet. Most handsome man.
I paid him to say that.
He's a handsome man here. So what do we got here? This is the vice president 6 hours ago at the southern border. Let's listen in.
I said, is that the federal government? We took the helicopter ride over here, and we saw a big chunk of border wall. And I said, is that the federal government's border wall? And they said, well, it was ordered during the first Trump administration, but Joe Biden wouldn't let us actually build it. Governor Abbott, of course, was the one who actually helped us put a lot of that stuff up. And, of course, that stopped the flow in a pretty profound way. We'll talk a little bit more at the press conference, but as you saw, the president said yesterday, I think it's maybe the most important part of his speech, is that we didn't need new laws to secure the border. We needed a new president, and thank God we have that. I've heard already from a number of the folks that I've talked to in Border Patrol that all we needed to do was empower these guys to do their job. Thank God they have done their job. We're thrilled that they've done it. And now we've seen, I think just in this area, border crossings go from about 1,500 a day to 30 a day. That's simply the President of the United States empowering these professionals to do what they do so well. So,
oh, man, finally we're getting some answers at the border.
Yeah. You know, that was one of the best moments of his speech last night. He said, you know, it turns out we didn't really need new laws to secure the border. We just needed a new president.
That was solid.
And the crowd went absolutely wild. Yeah.
Pete Hegseth posting this 7 hours ago. At the border today with two great Americans, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard. Border security equals national security. The difference under this POTUS is night and day. Brian, get the clock going. Thank you for having us, Mr. VP. And then we have this from Rapid Response 47, John Ratcliffe. What's he saying?
To receive. Well, Maria, I can tell you that this terrorist who goes by the nom de guerre Jafar is in U.S. custody. I was there at Dulles Airport last night to receive him, along with FBI Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. So, as you've seen, as the country has seen, the president had a to-do list. We are working at warp speed, and one of the first things that he told me as CIA director was to make this a priority on counterterrorism, to find the people responsible. Remember, the Biden administration had 3.5 years to do this. They didn't find anyone. They didn't hold anyone accountable for those 13 U.S. service members killed at Abbey Gate. My second day on the job, Maria, I spoke with the head of Pakistani intelligence. I shared with him intelligence that we had indicating that Jafar was located in the Afghan-Pakistan border region. I told him if he wanted to work with President Trump and have good relations with our country, that they would make this a high priority. So we worked with Pakistani intelligence. Jafar was apprehended in short order and is in the United States to face justice. It's the Trump effect, Maria. Everywhere I go, everyone I talk to, all of our foreign partners, allies, and even problematic allies want to do more with the United States. It's the Trump effect. And you saw that play out, and you're going to continue to see that play out as President Trump really wants to make sure that our intelligence community and our law enforcement community, instead of being weaponized to go after political opponents, is doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is to work together for American justice, to hold our adversaries accountable to the American people. And he put an exclamation on that, an exclamation point on that last night. It's great to be a part of it.
And let's see what else we've got going on here. Here's U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks crediting Trump, the administration's strong policies for a 95% drop in illegal crossings at the border.
Yeah, that's
great. Banks says over the past week, Border Patrol has apprehended an average of 285 migrants per day along the entire southern border. He says that's down 95% from the same time last year. Wow. Banks credited the decline with the increased federal and state assistance that Border Patrol has received.
The strong law enforcement posture that we have out there with our partners assisting us from the DOD to the Texas National Guard, we're being able to send a message that if you cross the border, your chances of being apprehended are much greater. And if you are apprehended, you're going to be removed from the country.
Banks says over the past week, Border Patrol has apprehended an average of 285 migrants per day along the entire southern border.
That's amazing. Here's Carly Bonet. Mr. Palmer talking about charges.
Mayor Johnson. Mr. Adams, did you swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
Yes, I do.
How about you, Mayor Johnson?
Yes, sir, I did.
How about you, the other Mayor Johnson?
Yeah, the Constitution of the United States as well as the Constitution of Illinois.
Okay, and Mayor,
Yes.
you did. Are you familiar with the Supremacy Clause? Any of you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Then under the Supremacy Clause, you understand that the laws of the United States take precedent over the laws of Colorado, over the laws of Illinois, over the laws of Massachusetts, and your cities. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
But when you declared your cities sanctuary cities, you did so illegally. Do you understand that?
Respectfully, sir, I would disagree with that. We follow
You're
every
disagreeing
federal
with
law.
the law. It's against the law to give sanctuary to people who have committed felonies, and it's a felony to cross the border illegally.
There
You
is no-
gave sanctuary to people who are here illegally. You violated your oath to uphold the Constitution because of the Supremacy Clause. The laws of the United States take preference. But you didn't do that.
There is, thank you, sir. There's no part of our city law that violates federal law, no part of the practices or services we provided that
Did
violate
you
federal law.
personally did you personally violate the law then by giving sanctuary? Somebody gave these people sanctuary. You declared your city, city of Boston was declared a sanctuary city by you, Mayor.
Being a sanctuary city, as you describe it, or being a city as we describe it, that's home for everyone, does not. It means that if
When
you
you
commit a
give
crime,
safe
you are
harbor
held
to
accountable
people who are
regardless of
here
immigration
illegally,
status.
and when you interfere with the officers of the law who are there to even remove people that you know have committed crimes, you have violated your oath of office. You've committed a crime, Mr. Chairman. I don't understand why we haven't been discussing obstruction of justice. I mean, get real about this. We have a problem in the country with the people who have come here illegally. And I just gave you a few names of people who have been raped and murdered. There are numerous others. There's a whole organization established called Remembrance to remember the people who have been assaulted, raped, murdered in this country because certain cities, certain officials decided to give sanctuary to people who came here illegally and committed these crimes. It goes all the way back to Kate Steinle, San Francisco, shot by someone who was here illegally. She would still be alive today. She died in the arms of her father. So I want to know if you understand the Supremacy Clause, that the laws of the United States are supreme over whatever your opinions might be of what the laws are.
Sir, I do recognize that. We do follow that. I want to clarify that we actively, aggressively pursue any known criminal in the city, and we actually partner with the federal government to do that. If there is someone with a criminal warrant, we're searching for them. We have federal task forces we're partners of to break up gang activity. We do that for drug trafficking. We do that on armed robberies. So we are in partnership with the federal government on many issues around.
Mayor Adams is being attacked because he's agreed to cooperate with federal officials to uphold the laws of the United States. I haven't heard any of you in defense of that.
We are absolutely upholding the laws of the United States. We do it every day, and we will continue to do it.
I just think we need to do a deeper dive into this, Mr. Chairman. If it were up to me, I'd be considering referring charges. I think we've got a problem here when we decide that there's some laws that we will obey and some laws that we won't. I don't care who it is, Republican, Democrat, I don't care what office you hold. We need to abide by the laws passed by.
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I will not yield. Mr. Chairman,
no, I will not yield. I'm going to let these Democrat mayors who are testifying in the committee about how they're breaking the laws. I'm not going to yield. I'm going to refer them for criminal charges.
Yeah. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to throughout the entirety of the Trump administration. I want to see people starting to get investigated, exposed, arrested, charged, convicted, and put in prison. So far, we haven't seen any of that. But I believe it is coming, especially with Doge, especially since they started following the money. So many crimes are going to be exposed soon, and I do think people are going to start going to prison. before the end of the Trump administration.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Americans want to see accountability.
We want to see accountability. We want to see justice.
We don't want to see people who get promotions for breaking the law. We've seen that for administration after administration. You know, that they become failures and somehow they get a bigger budget.
There's a lot of corruption in the federal government, and we want to see that fixed. And the only real evidence of it being fixed, I think, will be people getting put in prison for their crimes.
I think so, yeah. This is from CBS. This is actually from about a week ago. But they had a ride-along on the border, and you can see they didn't see a single migrant.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
President Trump is getting illegal immigrant scumbags like these off of our streets. I mean, you can just look at some of these crimes on the screen right here.
Yeah, that's
murder. I mean, what's this guy in the top? Like, what, convicted of that? Like,
come on.
What is this guy doing? You know?
Yeah. Evil people.
I mean, look at all these. Look at the crimes. I don't even want to say what they are, but you can see on the screen. And these are the.
You know what? Okay, here's an idea. I got an idea. You know how we deter criminal immigrants? We 3x all of the penalties for all crimes if you are an illegal immigrant. If you get caught and you get put in prison for 5 years for a particular crime, if you're an illegal immigrant, 15 years, right? We got to bring back the death penalty in America. Come on. Some of these crimes are so horrific.
Yeah.
I think that needs to happen. You know, if somebody gets in prison for 50 years, we make it life. You know, that kind of thing. Let's 3x all of the penalties for committing crimes in America if you're an illegal immigrant. That's what I think.
Here's George Beasy tweets. The Democrat mayor of Boston just sent a message to all illegal aliens in her city using their foreign languages. You belong here. This is your home. Okay.
Jeez.
Because we are safe. You belong here. This is your home. Boston es tu hogar. Boston, c'est la caillou. 这是你的家. This is our city. We are the safest major city in the nation because we are safe for everyone. You belong here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What else? Okay.
You're not going to be the safest city for long.
Here is Frontline's Borders Are Tom Homan confirmed to White House correspondent Monica Page. Oh, wow.
Because of that has been helped.
Do you have an update on the 350,000 missing children under the Biden administration?
We're just now working on that. We just started working on that because the data's been held up, but we started an effort already.
It seems as though this administration knows exactly where these illegal criminals are hiding out in these sanctuary cities. Is it possible that the previous administration knew exactly where they were, but actively chose not to go after them?
Of course. If you look at what happened under the Biden administration, who had record historic illegal immigration on the border. Historic. Millions, right? ICE had the lowest number of interior enforcement removals in the history of the agency. That's not by accident, that's by design. And that's why right now our arrests in the interior are about 3 times higher than Biden. We got a 97% decrease in border crossings. President Trump's been a game changer. He proves every day to me and the rest of this country why he's the greatest president of my lifetime, because he secured the border in a matter of weeks, and that Biden administration failed to do it in 4 years.
Do you have an update
Monica
on the
Page TV? Who's Monica Page? I think I saw her in the press room today. Actually, yeah. I'm not following her, but I'm following her now.
50,000 missing.
And we'll see what else is going on here. What? Turning Point USA.
That was fun. That was a fun one.
Down.
That was a fun one.
Oh, wow. Cool. Let's hear this one.
In this country. What's your name? I don't like your T-shirt. I'm an immigrant. I don't understand why you would want to deport some of my friends and family who have been working hard in this country.
What's your name, sorry?
I'm Claudio, sir.
Yeah, Claudio. And this is just a thought exercise, but it's very revealing. You are king, and you find out that there are 30 million uninvited people in your country. What do you do with them?
I try to find the most humane way of sending them back to our country. But first of all, I want to say...
That's what we're doing.
Wait.
That's what we're doing. So what country did you emigrate from?
Are you going to, like, discriminate against me?
No, I'm going to do the opposite, actually.
I'm Mexican.
But you came here legally, correct?
I did.
You followed the rules. The people that you know didn't follow the rules.
True.
So I divide America not into Hispanic and white, into rule follower and rule breaker.
Yeah.
And so when someone breaks our rules, there must be justice done. And the most humane way is you go back to your country of origin.
Some of my boys, like, they're being, like, persecuted, like, back home, them and their families, like, they're, like, in, like, drug-related, like, wars and violence, and the only way out is if they escape and they break the American law. But that's the only way they're going to survive.
If that is correct, we have a special asylum status that they could seek legally at a port of entry, that they could go through a whole process.
But if they're being persecuted, wouldn't it be justified to cut the line?
No. If we all of a sudden say that if you have a lot of gang violence and issues, I mean, like, we have a lot of gang violence and issues. Like, what are we talking about here?
True.
You have to draw the line. If your plane is going down, what do they tell you to do first? You put your mask on first. It's the same way as a country. We need to put our own oxygen mask on first, and then we can worry about helping other people.
I don't like your T-shirt. I'm an immigrant. I don't
Gulf of
understand.
America T-shirt. You gotta love it, man.
Yeah, that was a great one. I saw that this morning. I just absolutely love that. Charlie Kirk really kills it when he does these things.
Oh, he's great.
talking to
No,
these
he
guys.
certainly
Fantastic.
is great.
Well, what's amazing is sometimes you get these guys who they don't even realize that what they're saying. He goes, "Well, what would you do?" And he says, "Well, basically exactly what Trump's doing." What? That's his response. Really? That's your response?
We're going to do it humanely. Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, man. Okay, well, let's see what we got here. Here's Secretary of Defense. The brave men and women of America have stepped right up. Let's check it out.
To the Army, to the brave men and women of America have stepped right up. When they see who their commander-in-chief is, what his focus is, back to basics, warfighting standards, accountability, and readiness, they're ready to raise their right hand and join the U.S. military. And from the Marine Corps to the Army to the Air Force to the Navy, we've seen record numbers across the country of Americans saying, I want to serve under the commander-in-chief, President Trump. So it was a cool moment to hear him announce that there. The military has responded. It's a renaissance in the Pentagon, for sure. And it was a historic night. The president gave a historic, strong America First speech, and it was surreal to be right in the front row.
And before I go into
the brave men and women.
That was Brian Kilmeade. You know, it was weird. And when I was in the press room today, I saw Brian Kilmeade come out of the back. Like, he just kind of like walked out and like poked his head out and looked in the press room and then walked back.
You're talking about Pete Hegseth?
No. I heard Brian Kilmeade's voice.
Asking the questions. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
He was
and
there.
I'm like, oh, wait a second. And then I never saw him again.
So he was probably back there hanging out with Pete.
Yeah, he's just like, hanging out, you know.
That's kind of weird, right? Yeah.
That's wild.
Bringing in Fox News people is kind of an unprecedented thing. But he wrote a great book. That's the reason he's in there, is because he wrote this great book. This is how we fix the military, essentially. And Trump liked it and brought him in.
Oh, you're talking about Hegseth?
Hegseth, yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Kilmeade, who I said.
No, but I'm saying probably the reason Kilmeade's in the White House is probably because he's visiting Pete Hegseth, right?
Well, he was just there. I mean, just interviewing Pete Hegseth. So.
Yeah.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth responds to the Chinese embassy threatening the United States. What?
Historic opportunities. But my job is
gears. As the speech wrapped up last night, this was posted by the Chinese embassy. Quote, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. As Secretary of Defense, how do you take that?
Well, we're prepared. Those who long for peace must prepare for war. That's why we're rebuilding our military. That's why we're reestablishing deterrence and the warrior ethos, is because we live in a dangerous world with powerful, ascendant countries with very different ideologies. You mentioned defense spending. They're rapidly increasing their defense spending. Modern technology. They want to supplant the United States. If we want to deter war with the Chinese or others, we have to be strong. And that president understands peace comes through strength. He also has a great relationship with that gentleman right there, too, Xi Jinping. So where we can partner, where we can cooperate to recognize that we don't want war with China, we don't seek that war, we will. And the president has sought historic peace and historic opportunities. But my job as the Secretary of Defense is to make sure we're ready. We need the defense spending, the capabilities, the weapons, and the posture in the Indo-Pacific, which is something we're very much focusing on.
China as gears.
What are your thoughts on that real quick, Chris?
Look, we are the greatest country in the world. We've got the best military. The most money of any organization on the planet is the federal government. More money goes through there. We need to shrink that, obviously. But we have the best people, the kindest people, the most generous people. And trust me when I say this, I have lived all over the world. I've lived in Asia. I've lived everywhere. This is the best country. No country should ever threaten the United States of America because, if we want to, we will obliterate you. But we don't want to because we're good people. And I've been everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. And we need to get our house in order, and that's exactly what's happening with Donald Trump. So other countries shouldn't be threatening us. Other countries should be graciously trying to be friends with us.
Yeah, I agree.
People like China and people like Vladimir Zelensky.
Speaking of which, we have a clip here from Mike Waltz, Rapid Response 47, 13 hours ago. Speaking of Zelensky.
This was a positive step forward in terms of President Zelensky talking about moving forward towards a partial ceasefire, a full ceasefire, and then a lasting and permanent peace. Frankly, we wish that had been the tone, tenor, and substance in the Oval Office on Friday, and we would be talking about having an already signed minerals deal, binding our economies together in the wake of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the President of France, the Secretary General of NATO. It could have been a tremendous event, but we are where we are now. We think this was a positive step. And I have literally just been on the phone with my counterpart, the Ukrainian National Security Advisor, talking about times, locations, delegations, and truly sitting down for what will be shuttle diplomacy between the United States, the Ukrainians, the United States, the Russians, and then eventually moving them together towards what President Trump has promised, campaigned on, and was elected for, which is ending this war.
And it's about time. We need to end this war. So we've got Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Vice President Vance at the southern border, witnessing the results of Trump's immigration crackdown firsthand. Meanwhile, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed what many of us already know. Our neighbors to the north and south have allowed America to be a dumping ground, not just for illegal aliens, but for illegal poisonous fentanyl. And President Trump made it clear there will be repercussions for that. It's not just about enforcing laws. It's about reclaiming our national sovereignty and protecting American lives from drugs and gangs and violent criminals. So here's what Americans should be asking tonight. If Trump could secure the border in just 44 days through executive action alone, why didn't the Biden administration do the same? Was there failure due to incompetence, or was it their deliberate strategy to flood the country with illegal immigrants so they could try to get more voters? You guys answer that, because the truth seems painfully obvious. But we do want to hear your take on why Democrats fought so hard against the very policies that are now protecting American lives. Okay? Now, hit the link in the description down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, and join the MAG Avengers and show your support for the Next News Network. All right.
That was great, man.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah.
Okay, we've got one more segment.
I'm out though.
You got to go?
No, my headphones.
You can't hear anything?
No.
Oh.
What do you think I was trying to say to you?
Oh, I thought you were saying that. I thought you were telling me to charge.
No, I was saying it's done. It's done.
Totally done?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we got to make sure these are charged tomorrow. Okay, so we've got our next segment coming up. Hopefully mine will stay charged.
I don't know. Mine died the first time as well when I gave it to you.
Oh, it totally died.
It totally died, yeah.
Oh. Hey, Ahmed, you got those headphones? You have the headphones?
Yeah, but only one.
Okay, only one.
If it dies, I'll give it to you.
So just pretend.
Yeah.
All right.
And do you want like the cover, or do you want earpiece?
No, I'll take the full.
This is how it goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, you know what?
Behind
give
the
me
scenes
one,
at Next News Network.
This is the raw feed, folks. This is
the raw feed.
It's the raw feed. It's the place to be. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like this computer keeps like running out of memory. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, you're over 3 hours now. You got one more segment, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's.
You can do it.
We can do it. I want to bring up some points here. Viv B and Tom B. He gifted one Next News Network membership, and Jamie was the recipient of that. And Viv B gifted 10 Next News Network memberships.
Wow.
That was about
Very
an hour
generous.
ago. Okay. Oh, look at this. All these. Look at this. Wait, there's all these super chats. Viv B. Mr. Reagan has a fantastic broadcast and radio voice.
Oh, that's very
easy
kind.
on the eyes, too. Oh, sincerely from every female in the chat. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. There we go. Thank you for that. All right. I can. All right. Oh, is it like a coily thing? Oh, this is fine. I can do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're good. Okay, and then Viv B. Al Green's pronouns are Sasquatch and Sasquatch self. Oh my goodness!
A lot of people are comparing him to a werewolf.
Yeah.
That was like the big thing on X. Yeah.
Juan Ruiz is back with MAGA for life, dropping $5. And Juan Ruiz again dropping $2. He wants to see me do a Trump dance.
We can do Trump dance, right? I'm not really sure how to do.
Oh, did you find?
No, this is just extended.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then we've got Kimberly Johnson dropping $10 here. Appreciate you, MAGA, no matter what. These Dems are deluded, no heart, compassion, totally blue-blooded reptiles. And then another one from our boy, 10 more towards a Trump dance from both of you. I mean, what's the threshold on the Trump dance? I don't know. It's
I don't really know how to do the Trump dance. I need to work on my Trump dance.
So that's $161.96 in Super Chat so far. Thank you guys so much.
Nice.
Deplorable Diva. Nobody asked for what they did to us for decades.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's get to our next topic here. And try to do your best.
I'll lip read.
You'll lip read, yes. Okay.
I have no headphones, guys. So.
All right. What happened after Trump's historic address might be even more revealing than the speech itself. I'm Gary Franchi, reporting live from D.C., and I've been tracking the fallout as Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt absolutely eviscerated Democrats in a stunning press conference. I was in the room when it happened. She said the behavior of Democrats last night was completely disgraceful, the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber. That's what she declared without hesitation. And she didn't stop there. She said, I gave a quote that Democrats behaving like children would be the least surprising thing of the night. And unfortunately, that quote did turn out to be true. The White House press corps was left stunned, and as Leavitt methodically exposed the Democrats' shameful disrespect. And while Leavitt was exposing the weakness of Democrat leadership, many American men are facing similar revelation about their declining strength. Just as we uncovered what's destroying our political system, scientists have discovered what's devastating men's testosterone levels nationwide. And that's not something that our guest sitting in tonight, Chris Coles, he has no problem with testosterone. This guy is a walking testosterone commercial. Now, most guys, they blame age, genetic, or lack of exercise for low energy and motivation, but research has identified a common healthy food that's actually sabotaging your manhood. This one item, consumed just a few times weekly, is enough to wreck your testosterone, drain your energy, and crush your drive. Shocking part is something that most doctors actually recommend. Sculpt Nation has documented remarkable transformations when men eliminate this one food, building muscle, burning fat, and feeling energized again. To discover this testosterone-killing culprit, visit sculptnation.com/NNN. The simple change could transform your life, just as Trump is transforming America. Okay, so we are joined by Chris Coles, the epitome of testosterone and manhood, one of the most beautiful men on the internet. No homo here, but just want to.
That's what I call myself. Yeah, most beautiful man on the internet.
Most beautiful man on the internet. Well, there was a beautiful moment that happened in the press room that I was in today, and as you guys know, I'm officially credentialed by the White House. Proud to say that. Now, this is the moment that Jordan Conradson of the Gateway Pundit dropped the hammer in the press room. Check this out. Now, this is my exclusive footage for you.
Thanks, Caroline. So what does it say that the Democrats, while they couldn't stand for Americans or stand for victims, they stood for war and clapped for war and clapped for 5 more years of war?
Yeah, the president addressed that last night, I think, when he called out Senator Elizabeth Warren and said that, again, as I said in my opening speech, very telling that the Democrats refused to clap for American people and American interests and American priorities, but they did clap for the country of Ukraine, which, by the way, the president's working very hard to end that war. So Democrats should be applauding him for actually doing something about it.
A follow-up on that, if I can. You've spoken recently about how what happened in the Oval Office last week gave Americans an inside look into behind-the-scenes discussions with Zelensky. Is this how he treated Joe Biden? and just treated him disrespectfully and received billions of dollars?
Well, it's a very interesting question. I don't know if anybody in here asked my predecessor who stood at this podium about that, but there was a report from NBC News that President Biden also got increasingly frustrated with President Zelensky when he was handing out blank checks and President Zelensky kept asking for more. Joe Biden was quite frustrated with that. So again, as I've said repeatedly, Friday revealed the frustrations that this administration has had in closed-door negotiations with the Ukrainians. However, President Zelensky did put out a statement yesterday, which we believe is a positive step forward. And National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has been talking to his Ukrainian counterparts. And so we're in the midst of this, and we'll see what happens.
So, Chris, what do you think about, do you think we're going to actually see peace, or do you think this war is going to continue?
Oh, we'll see peace. We'll definitely see it. Trump will figure it out, I think. And can I just, before we really get into the details of that, can I just say how cool it is that the White House opened up the press room to alternative media? The fact that Gateway Pundit is there and able to ask those questions, the fact that you're there and able to capture that footage. We were talking before the show about how you get in there with your phone and you're getting footage of like all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody ever gets to see. Next News Network is in there getting the stuff you can't see anywhere else. And it's all because Trump just opened up that press room to all the alternative media, people like you who I think deserve to be there. To me, it's a lot of fun. I don't know how much you guys like to see the behind the scenes stuff, but I love to see it. I mean, I guess that's why it's called Raw Feed, is because you get to see all the stuff that nobody ever gets to see. But you're walking around the White House and you got a press pass and, you know, you got a YouTube channel. I mean, it's a great YouTube channel, but it's still a YouTube channel. That's something that's really unprecedented.
Yeah, when I have spoken to some folks in there and I introduce myself, they ask, you know, like it's like they always say like, "Who are you with?"
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like, and in fact, when I was in that room today, that's exactly what was said when I met one guy. Like we both said it at the exact same time,
right?
Like,
right.
And he's like, "Jinx," you know. So
that's
pretty
funny,
funny,
man.
So yeah, it's really an honor to be there, and we're going to continue bringing.
And you're networking. You got all kinds of new friends now in the media.
Yeah. I mean, I'm meeting all these different people from different outlets, and it's really exciting. Here we have. This is President Trump. This is Press Secretary. Trump believes in tariffs because they'll make America rich again. That's awesome. Yeah. Let's listen.
Pay down our debt. The president does love tariffs. He said it's one of his favorite words of the English.
Cable.
Bring American jobs here back home. So I think for folks on Wall Street who may be concerned, look at what this president did for you in his first term. Wall Street.
Okay, so
certainly Main Street is going to boom, and that's why the president has this whole of government economic approach, which includes tax cuts, tariffs, regulation cuts, and an energy industry.
Try to reconnect it here.
Costs for American consumers. The president does love tariffs. He said it's one of his favorite words.
Work.
They'll all make America rich again. They're going to raise revenue. They're going to help us pay down our debt. Most importantly, they're going to bring American jobs here back home. So.
Okay, this phone is
on Wall Street who may be
not working, so I don't know. We got 16% on this one. You think
it'll be fine? 16%. We don't get that long left.
Oh my goodness! All right, this is the raw feed. This is how we do it, folks. Okay, let's try to get back to that clip. Okay, is it going to play now? Okay, so President Trump believes in tariffs because they'll ultimately make America rich again. Let's take a look.
I think for the president does love tariffs. He said it's one of his favorite words of the English dictionary, and he believes in tariffs because they'll ultimately make America rich again. They're going to raise revenue. They're going to help us pay down our debt. Most importantly, they're going to bring American jobs here back home. So I think for folks on Wall Street who may be concerned, look at what this president did for you in his first term. Wall Street boomed. Stock market boomed. The president expects that to happen again, but most importantly, Main Street is going to boom, and that's why the president has this whole of government economic approach, which includes tax cuts, tariffs, regulation cuts, and an energy industry that will bring down costs for American consumers.
So America is going to be rich again because of Donald Trump's tariffs. And what I'm personally looking forward to is when the IRS is abolished. Okay.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I hope so. That's one of the questions I want to ask because I want to ask about the auditing of the Federal Reserve. I want to talk about the auditing of Fort Knox. I have a lot of questions that go back to when I was, in the streets and I was doing protests, against the Federal Reserve and the central banking system. My long history of advocacy for sound money.
Right.
I still carry that with me.
Yeah.
And being able to go into the White House and ask these really strong questions is a great like full circle moment for me. And I want to do that for all of our supporters and fans and everyone who I did march in those streets with. When we go in front of the Federal Reserve with hundreds of people saying like "end the Fed," right? So
would you still say that's like a core issue for you?
Central banking for sure.
Yeah.
I think we need to have sound money, and the banksters, as I like to call them, the more they print, the less it's worth. We need to have real sound fiscal policy in this country, and one of the ways is just by reining in Federal Reserve, reining in spending, and getting rid of the IRS.
Little off topic, but you're looking forward to seeing Trump and Elon Musk walk into Fort Knox and see if the gold is still there.
That's what I wanted to ask today, and I was going to ask about
at the White House. You're saying you wanted to ask this at the White House?
Yeah, that was my question. I had ready for if I was called upon. I was going to ask him, can you give us an update on the audit of Fort Knox, and if Ron Paul would be considered for Fed chair?
Great man, Ron Paul. That would be amazing.
Well,
that's an amazing question.
Senator Mike Lee had advocated for that, and Elon Musk said it was an excellent idea. They both publicly proclaimed that on X. So I think it's a fair question. I don't think it's like some fringe thing. It's like these are real things that are happening.
But you didn't get an opportunity to ask today?
No, I did not. No, I was when I was filming that segment there, I just didn't get a chance.
Yeah,
it was a short press conference. Whatever. There'll be other opportunities, and we'll continue to track those moments.
Sure.
Here's more from the press secretary today. The American people elected this president to have monumental reform and change.
That we are in. Frankly, it's very refreshing, and everybody in this room should be very grateful that we have a president who tells the truth about the reality of the economic situation that we are in, unlike the previous president who lied to everybody's faces, saying inflation was transitory, saying it was under control, saying that the border was secure, when none of that was true. So the president is being frank and honest, and the American people elected this president to have monumental reform and change, including rebuilding our manufacturing base in this country, standing up to foreign nations who have been ripping off our country for decades. And that requires a little bit of disruption. That requires a lot of effort and work that this president is focused on doing. With that said, as the president said last night, his administration is wholeheartedly committed, of course, to ending the inflation nightmare caused by the Biden administration. Look at the deregulation efforts. Look at the president's push last night in his speech for Congress to pass tax cuts, to end taxes on Social Security and overtime pay for hardworking Americans, end taxes on tips. We need Congress to get that done because that's going to put more money back into the pockets of the American people. And I didn't even mention energy. Look at the president's approach and focus on unleashing the might of our energy industry. We know that's the #1 driver of inflation. He's been slashing back a lot of the burdensome regulation from the previous administration to unleash our energy industry here at home, which will drive down costs. He said he is committed to making America affordable again. He did it in his first term, and Americans can trust him to do it again.
He is making America affordable again. I just want to check something here.
Couldn't stand for America.
Yeah, well, I think that there's an audio problem on some of these clips that they posted to Rapid Response 47. So I'm not going to subject you guys to too much more. But here is something that's interesting. Oh, the Department of Education suing the state of Maine. Check this out.
Accountable if they continue. Well, the Department of Education has sued the state of Maine. As you know, there's ongoing litigation. The president has made a commitment to ensure that states are being held accountable if they continue to allow men and women's sports, which he believes is an egregious violation of taxpayer dollars. And so that fight continues, and the president won't back down. Again, this is a common sense policy. 80% of the American people, including more than 60% of Democrats, do not want men and women's sports. So the president will stand by this commitment. The Department of
So if you guys want to watch the full press conference, go to our channel. You'll see it there. You'll see the actual feed from the pool feed. We streamed that as the press conference was going, and then you'll see my exclusive angle. I'm actually standing on the far left side of this screen here. You can't see me, but that's where I'm sitting, and you'll see the full unedited press conference. So you even see angles, like a lot of times you don't always see this shot of the press, but I got their angles. I shot it, zoomed in on their faces when they're asking questions. Even got Jordan Conradson of the Gateway Pundit, as you saw in the opening of this clip, which was interesting. Just a little behind the scenes secret, not really secret, but I asked him before the press conference began when I introduced myself, and he introduced himself to me, and I said to him, I noticed that he didn't have a camera. Okay, and I had my camera all set up on a rig, and I said, well, you don't have a camera. How are you going to get the shot of you asking the question? He says, well, we have the pool feed. So he luckily was able to ask the question that he did, and I'm literally standing next to him. So I just flipped the camera around, put it on him, and then got the shot. And I was able to send it over to Joe Hoft at the Gateway Pundit, and I sent it to Elijah, and I even sent it to Jordan as well. And the views are now at 22,000 on this clip, 121 reshares, and 10 replies. So this is the power of the independent press that's happening in this revolutionary moment in the press room. And then again, right after that address last night, I gave my own address right there where she's standing, and I gave the State of the Media address. It was bizarre. It kind of came to me in like 4:30 the morning of, and I said, I need to do this. Like I thought about how everybody is, there's always a response to the State of the Union. I'm like, well, how about I give the State of the Media address? And so I spent the whole morning like crafting the speech and like sort of anguishing over this moment where I would be on that stage, not knowing who would be in that press room when I'm delivering the scathing rebuke of the media. So I kind of planned it because I knew everybody would be scrambling over to the Capitol building. The press would be majority at the Capitol, there to cover all that stuff. Or that, like, if you watch some of the behind the scenes video from last night, I did post a video from last night, and you can see all the lights in all the media tents. They were just lit up because they're all sitting there doing their hits. But I was in the press room. There was literally nobody there, like maybe a couple people. So I got up on that stage and I delivered my speech. And there's maybe like 3 people in the room, but there was one moment when I said this like really strong and pointed statement, Chris.
Right.
And I said, I don't remember at which point this guy reacted, but he just goes, "Oh Jesus," because like I'm just like he couldn't believe what I was saying, and I couldn't believe.
Now it's a powerful video, man.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to go watch it.
Yeah, so check it out, folks. It's the My State. It's the first ever State of the Media address from the White House, and I'm proud to be the guy to do it because we have to rally together. It's really a rallying cry for people like you and me.
Yeah,
people who are independent content creators, people who are dedicated to the truth, dedicated to our audiences. Because it takes so much to put. Like I said in my speech, like I didn't just walk into the press room. Like it all started with a camera and a microphone, and you just kind of learn as you go along. But I mean, all your stuff, like from right out the gate, your content is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, look. The truth is, you can do something really polished and really nice, just like they do with the major media companies. Or you can just do something with an iPhone. And as long as you've got clean audio, as long as you can see what's going on and you're getting the information, and it's good information, it's the truth, that's really what matters more than anything else. The style doesn't matter so much. Yes, it can be polished, it can look nice. Yes, sometimes it looks cool to get an iPhone footage behind the scenes. But what really matters is you're getting good information and it's accurate information. And I think we're finally going to get there. There was a moment during the campaign when Trump gave a speech and a presentation. I think he posted it to X. and he said, we're going to reform social media. We're going to hold social media accountable. They're not going to be getting away with censoring conservatives anymore. I actually got emotional watching this. I was out in on some tropical island with my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, do you want to go? Let's get out of here. And I'm like, no, I've got to watch this. It was very, very powerful.
You made a video about it.
I made a video about it. I cannot wait until that part of Trump's presidency goes through, and we can actually get this this change in social media, because that was really restricting Trump from getting the votes he needed to get in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Even though we did win, I think all 3 times, if I'm perfectly honest. I do think we would have won in an even more overwhelming way. There are still people out there who believe that Trump is a con man and he's a liar and he's trying to trick everybody. But if we could actually get more of our content out through social media, and right now a video that went viral, the parody about the Zelensky-Trump meeting, that video is being suppressed currently on YouTube. They're still shadow banning us like crazy, and that all needs to end. Yeah. And this presidency is going to make that happen.
Trump brought that up last night in his speech. He talked about the end of the censorship industrial complex, and that was a thrust of my own address, is that we need to plant a flag. We need to ensure that the voices are allowed to continue. I've always been an advocate for free speech. Obviously, because this is my weapon of choice.
This is what we do.
This is how we get the message out.
Yeah.
And then when you experience censorship, especially in our line of work,
you were totally demonetized.
Yeah,
totally demonetized.
I was almost
horrific.
I was almost completely destroyed. My entire operation completely destroyed. We had to, get rid of like 99% of our staff. I had to sell off personal assets just to keep everything going.
You are a small business, and a major corporation, YouTube, tried to destroy your small business because they don't agree with your politics.
Yeah. Well, that's changing, and you're here for it. I'm here for it.
Your presence in the White House signifies this great change.
It really does.
Yeah.
And your presence here signifies awesomeness. We've got
and a great friendship.
Friendship. I've known Chris for a long time,
and
I'm proud to call him a friend. Make sure you guys follow him on his YouTube channel, on his X account. Share his videos, engage with him in the comments, because these are ways. I don't know if you guys know this, but the more you engage with a video on YouTube, the more it's shared, the longer you watch it, how many comments it receives, helps it in the algorithm. And go over to his channel, watch his stuff, drop some comments and get engaged. And most importantly, get entertained, because this guy really knows how to do it. So, and go to check out his Zelensky parody, which is on X, it's got like 1.5 million.
Yeah. I mean, throughout the different social media, it's several million views.
Yeah. And on YouTube, it's like 22,000.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So, go over to his channel, subscribe, and you will not be disappointed. So the press conference, it revealed even more of the administration's bold agenda. Leavitt announced the Department of Education has sued the state of Maine as part of Trump's commitment to hold states accountable for allowing men and women's sports. She confirmed a 1-month exemption on any autos coming through USMCA, while maintaining that reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd. And most powerfully, she highlighted that after nearly 4 years, President Trump delivered justice for the families of the 13 American heroes who were killed at Abbey Gate by detaining the monster responsible for that horrific attack. So here's the question every American should be asking. If Democrats can't even acknowledge the capture of a terrorist who killed our troops, if they can't celebrate justice for victims of violent crime, do they actually care about American citizens at all? Or have they become so consumed by their hatred of President Trump that they've completely abandoned any pretense of patriotism? Let us know if you think the Democrat Party can ever recover from what Leavitt correctly called the most shameful display in history. And show your support for Trump's America First with our Next News swag available. Link below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com in the merch shop.
You got to read this, guys.
Yeah, I actually brought it up on the screen during our engagement.
So
Resto Guy dropping $50. Damn. Thank you, N3 and Mr. Reagan. You have no idea what you do for us. Well, thank you.
We appreciate it.
And then Juan Ruiz says, Trump dance Gary.
I still like it to do. Come on, I want to see it.
No, you're going to do it with me.
Well, I don't even know how to do the Trump dance. How do you?
You're going to, okay, no, yeah, you do like, okay, because you got to bring your hands up here because you got to just like do this, the thing. Yeah, Trump dance. Okay, and then he does like, a couple fist pumps.
He does a golf
and then
thing.
he does the, he does the golf swing, and then he does like the low down and the. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, there it is, the Trump dance. Are you happy? You got it. Okay. All right. Okay.
That was fun.
All right. So we're going to close out this show right now. And so, America, I'm sitting here with Chris Coles, Mr. Reagan. Make sure you subscribe to him on YouTube. But we have reached the end of another explosive edition of the Raw Feed, broadcasting right here from the heart of Washington, D.C. So I want to thank my exceptional co-host, Chris Coles, you know him as Mr. Reagan, for bringing his brilliant analysis tonight. Chris, your insights on Trump's masterful speech and the Democrats' pathetic response were spot on. And, of course, your Trump Zelensky parody video, pure genius, 1.6 million views and counting. So, again, viewers, if you haven't subscribed to Mr. Reagan's channel yet, you're missing out on some of the most incisive and creative political commentary in America today. Let's recap what we have covered on this historic day, 44, of President Trump reclaiming the White House. We started with Chris's viral satire that perfectly captured the absurdity of current political theater, proving once again why independent voices like his are so crucial in today's media landscape. Then we dove into Trump's powerful vision of victory, strength, and renewal for America that's completely redefined presidential leadership. His joint address wasn't just a speech, it was a declaration that America is back and stronger than ever. And we also witnessed how Trump's epic speech took Congress and the nation, delivering what Senator Ted Cruz called by far his best address, with a staggering 69% approval rating. That's according to CNN's own poll. The American people have spoken loud and clear. We also exposed how Democrats showed their true colors in a night of embarrassing refusals and silence. They couldn't even stand for a 13-year-old cancer survivor, for the families of victims of illegal alien crime, or for the capture of a terrorist responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing. We highlighted Trump's remarkable border security triumph. This shocked Democrats and proved the power of strong immigration policies. With a 95% drop in illegal crossings, the results speak for themselves. And then, finally, we revealed how Democrats were completely exposed in Caroline Leavitt's bombshell press conference, where she called their behavior the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses. So, America, we do need your support to keep bringing you the truth. And if you value what we do here, please consider donating at the links in the description. Your contributions keep the Raw Feed going. So a special thank you to everyone who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants tonight. We're talking about $213.96. And, of course, 12 new members who now have access to the behind-the-scenes videos that no one else sees. Our memberships are up. We have 770 members. So thank you guys for maintaining your membership and keeping us going. We appreciate you guys. You are all part of a crucial movement. And don't forget to check out the merch shop. If you haven't grabbed your Next News swag, I want to see you guys wearing this on the streets, okay? Because this is how we share. This is how we identify one another. All right. Oh, you watch the Next News? Oh, I watch the Next News now too. Oh, yeah, I love Gary. He's so funny. Oh, yeah, and that guy Chris who was on the show, he's so handsome. Anyway, that lets everyone know that you display your favorite news source. So thank you for joining Chris and me for the Raw Feed tonight. Let's bring up me and Chris. We're going to see you next time as we continue to bring you the unfiltered truth about the golden age of America that has only just begun. And Allison Carr dropping $10 at the last minute. So, America, this is it. We'll see you on the next Raw Feed.